Sagare gapagare gapada pagare ga sare
at the bottom of the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. At the bottom of the ocean. Don't know if I'll make it back home.
Welcome back, esports fans, to the Midwest Esports Conference League of Legends skirmishes. I'm Audio. Joining me today, as always, is my better half on the casting desk, Nightstar. We've got some great games for you guys today. Nightstar, don't you dare argue with me, all right? I hear that big brain analysis. I see you on Twitter talking all up about the LPL. I know you're plugged in, okay? We got some great matches for you guys today. Grandview University going to be taking on Mizzou Esports, and as a special treat for your considerations and your Eastern plans, because we know you got them, you're all so popular, we're moving the skirmish finals match right after today's Series 2. So Purdue is ready and waiting to take on whoever wins this Grandview versus Mizzou match. So Grandview, buckle up. You're in for a long day.
Theoretically, but it could also be quite the showcase. We'll see what actually happens. You know, the Grandview, while they did kind of speed run through our CLO, our MEC CLO conference for skirmish, you know, they've thrown some weird stuff. They've had their fun, so perhaps we get to see more of the fun stuff today. Maybe in AP Zinzao.
Ooh, I mean, I'm hoping for it. And for those of you that are just joining us, maybe not have been watching the skirmishes all season long, and you're just saying, hey, fuck, Grandview already won the finals. What the heck are they still doing playing Mizzou? Because of the teams we had drop out, unfortunately, we set up the skirmishes alongside the C-Law matches. This has no effort or no affection on the C-Law records at all. Grandview are our champions, undoubtedly, but these are just a way for the teams to get some extra games, some extra cash prizes alongside the regular tournament. And we are halfway into draft now, as we've just been chatting your ear off. Grandview University is going to be on blue side. We have Mizzou here on red, and Karma doesn't look fun. Nightstar, Kaisa doesn't look fun. Lee Sin looks kind of fun.
Lee Sin
I like
does.
Echo.
Yeah, there's the Echo thrown in. I mean, I don't know where the Echo's going, so maybe it doesn't end up being very fun because he gets stuck in a unlucky matchup. But they go ahead and lock the Lucian as well. So for the side of Mizzou, they've got some of the spicy picks. And for Grandview, you know, maybe they curveball and throw the Kaisa into a soul lane or something. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Wouldn't that be a sight to see? I don't know how that would work out, but the Karma definitely has some flex potential. As we get into the second rounds of bans here, quickly rapid firing through the first round, we saw Yasuo, Tristana, Aurelia out of Grandview. We saw Alistar, Hecarim, and Seraphine from Mizzou. Pretty typical red side bans, pretty typical target bans for Grandview universities. And Pantheon, Wukong are going to be the final two. We'll see what the 10th ban from Grandview here is. It is Braum. I like that one. Braum got some nice buffs on this patch. Patch day, by the way. 11.7.
Yeah, Braum got to be a champion, which is something that hasn't happened in a very long time. Usually when you lock in that Braum, you kind of stare at him and just think, well, okay, I guess I can literally pick anything. I can literally pick anything into that bot. But now, you know, he gives value again, which is great because this is a champion that just hasn't seen enough love from Riot. But we won't see him this game. Thresh locked in. If it's a Lucian Thresh bot lane, you know, in the lore, they're a bit of an odd couple, but even on the Rift, they feel a little bit odd. So, very interested if that happens. You know, Morgana. on the next patch is going to be absolutely wild because of the jungle buffs. She
I'll
does
be excited.
300 more
Keep my
damage
eyes
with
out.
her pool.
That is going to be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. As hey, next week around the next patch time, UCL's gonna be started back up, so maybe we'll get to see some of that fun stuff come through. Grandview, they're gonna lock in what might be one of the most anti-fun top laners in the game. It's Sion, a champion who just doesn't have to interact with his opponent at all, and even if he's like 0-30, he's still unkillable come 20 minutes. So Grandview, I mean, this kind of follows their style. If you look at some of their past skirmishes and their past games,
It's
where
the
they've
first
just had
game
a
that's
big
not fun.
mismatch. Yeah, it's the first game is super standard, and they just beat you through scaling. And if they win, the second game they try to run you over in like 15 minutes. So
That's the
Grandview,
spicy one.
that's the spicy one. But they always lock down that game beforehand. They always do their preparation to make sure that they don't find themselves in a situation where, oh, we had fun in game one, and game two we just accidentally made a big mistake around a Baron or something. You know, they stole an Elder, and now we've lost 0-2. They're going to cover their bases. We're going to head into the in-client draft. We'll talk through it as it's going on. But let's talk about the comp from Mizzou now, because we haven't given them much love. Double AD carry coming out from them. We also see the Echo coming through. What's kind of the game plan for Mizzou in this number one?
Yeah, Mizzou, I actually like their comp quite a bit because, of course, you have the Lucian into that mid lane. Whichever champion gets thrown into that mid, whether it's Karma or Morgana, most likely it's going to be that Karma, just because you want that spell shield down in that bot lane against Thresh. But Lucian into Karma should have a very nice time. You have Echo into Lee Sin. Lee Sin, he's going to be looking for fights, but if Echo is able to get a couple of levels under him or enough farm under him, then he really does well into Lee Sin, and then Echo is the one searching for Lee Sin. And then, of course, Gnar has that range advantage into a Scion, so I'm actually really surprised that they went for the Scion pick in the end, when it is a terrible matchup into the Gnar. But it is what it is, and like this top half of the map is pretty fire for the side of Mizzou, and it just comes down to, can Thresh Sivir survive against a Kai'Sa Morgana where Kai'Sa's just running at you nonstop?
Yeah, and when I look across the lane, I mean, there's obviously that mismatch in the bottom lane with the Thresh Sivir not having as much power, but still being pretty safe. I mean, you've got the Lantern, you've got the Spell Shield to deal with the bindings. Like, I don't think that there's much threat for Mizzou down there in the bottom lane. So then I start to ask, well, they've got two really good team lanes in mid and top. What are they going to be able to do with them? And where I start to have a little bit of concerns is when Colthrow gets involved, because Flippy the Coin has been a very greedy jungler over the course of
He lives
Midwest
up to the
Esports
name.
Conference. He does. And I mean, sometimes he'll play things like the Nidalee or like the Echo, and he will play very aggressive and pop off. But up against Grandview, historically, Coulter hasn't really allowed him to do that. And so Flippy has kind of defaulted back into the other side of that coin, which has been the hard farmers. He likes to pull out things like the Karthus and just basically not interact with Coulter if he can help it. This time, picking the Echo, this is saying to me that he wants to be in his lanes. He wants to try to, track Coulthrow, be where he is to make sure that his lanes can be aggressive without this Lee Sin throwing a wrench in the works. So, Flippy, I think you've got a big task ahead of you. You've got to keep Coulthrow down, because if Lee Sin is somehow able to flip these lanes and it's Grandview that start getting a lead in the early game, well, then you're just kind of kaput. You've got a Karma beefing up this Kai'Sa superstar and just an unkillable meatball in the front lane of Platypus.
Yeah, the scaling's definitely there for the majority of the side of Grandview, so that'll be a bit of a rough task to deal with come late game. But at the very least, they also have the Sivir to really match it. And the nice part about Sivir is, even though the Scion is kind of a bit of an immovable object, but because he's so immovable, it also helps distribute Sivir's damage. Like he's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
right in front of you, and then you just hit him with the ricochet blades, and then they kind of bounce around to the backside. And Kaisa, with her low range, she has kind of no other choice but to eat the bouncing blades.
Yeah, if she wants to be within range to do her damage, she has to be within the range to take damage as well. And Mizzou, they have options to deal with Grandview's comp even in the late game. They've got double marksman to chew through this Zion.
Yep.
Like, he's not going to be that tanky if you're staring down the barrel of double Kraken Slayer, Lucian Sivir just whittling away at you. And I think that although Mizzou late game, their comp looks pretty great. Their team fight is very solid. I do feel it a bit harder to execute because they've only got that pseudo.
Yeah.
Then I think there's just a lot to punish here for Grandview. But we'll have to see how these teams are able to make it happen. Grandview, they're off to a bit of a slower start, or so it may seem from the draft. We still have yet to see the gameplay, and anything can happen with Grandview University in the Midwest Esports Conference. We're going to toss to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Platypus has left the game. He's not having it. Oh, he's back. Okay, he is going to show up this time. I wouldn't have blamed him, honestly, because he have a great lane matchup. I mean, look at his items. He brought the commencing stopwatch. Kind of already saying to me that Grandview's like, all right, good luck. You're playing Scion. We'll see you in 20 minutes when you're going to be strong no matter what.
Yeah, he has taken the unsealed spellbook, so in that regards, it's not the worst of both worlds. Unfortunately, he won't get the double stacking. He can't be extra greedy. But you know what? He could just go for lethality Scion.
Wouldn't that be a sight to see? Just throw back to like the full int Scion. You just run down the lane and use your zombie to whack away at the turret. God, I hope not. If that is the plan here for Grandview University, I'm going to cry, Nightstar, because like this is like such a try-hard comp. This is a Karma mid lane. They've got the late game Kaisa. Like this, you feel like you would see this in the CLOL finals. If it turns into a lethality Scion, I'm just done. But it's gonna seem like a standard start here. It's gonna be opposite sides for the junglers. Won't see much action out of them. Colthrow probably going to be hovering around bot side quite a bit. Although we talked about Sivir and Thresh pretty safe, you throw Lee Sin in the mix, it gets a bit trickier.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also a decent amount of kill potential in this bottom lane if Colthrow does visit bot, and I mean, Chookies just lands a
That's the
binding
mental
like that.
binding right there.
Yeah.
If you can walk up level 1 and hit that first binding on the ADC, no less, Chucky's already won the lane.
Yeah, it's like when you're shooting shots on the basketball court, that first half court shot, you're just like, oh, okay, it's just over. You land that and you're just like, all
You
right.
landed the second one too.
Yeah, all day, every day.
And in that matchup, Sivir, I mean, you usually go for the spell shield level 2 just to try to relieve some of that pressure. The fact that Ghostosies has taken 2 of those now before he even gets access down to half HP, although he is hanging on to both of his potions here. So, not too worried. I thought those might have been down.
Oh.
Good hook from Chookies. Ignite to put a little bit of damage down. And
Okay.
Mizzou trading very effectively into Grandview.
Yeah, I mean, Lobos is still able to get quite a bit of damage on the back end. It's just, unfortunately for Chookies, he just takes the boomerang blades.
Yeah.
And Ghost Toasty, I mean, he is running the Dark Harp, so we're going to see the lethality version come out for Sivir. Even though you can still run lethal tempo.
Black
but
Shield into
that's
the
a flash.
binding's gonna force Plushy Owl to flash away. And yeah, I'm a bit disappointed to see the lethality Sivir coming through. You are gonna have Lucian. Hold that thought. Platypus now. It's his top side, just kerfuffle going on. He's down to 100 HP. Can Arrogant finish off the side? He flashes the wall. Stay alive. Arrogant wants it so bad. Oh no! Committing smash. He didn't have the vision, and now Colthrow's back in the fight to
He's
finish
on a mission.
everyone else off. So many low health bars, so many paydays for Colthrow to connect. There's one. As the camera pans away, we'll never know if Twilly makes it out alive. Yes, we do. We can look at the minimap. He's just fine. 2 quick kills for Grandview University.
No, if I can't see it in front of my eyes, it doesn't exist.
Out of sight, out of mind. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. That's what Mizzou is saying right now. You know, their coach, they're covering their eyes. I didn't see that.
That's also the bot lane, just like, yep, nothing's going wrong, guys. We're still doing fine. Don't worry about us. We're just farming the lane. I assume you guys can win top side since you guys have jungle attention, right?
Yeah,
Right,
such a devastating play though for Mizzou, because now you've thrown your weight up into that top side. Colthrow was there, waiting, ready. He gets 2 kills. That's exactly where you want this early goal to go if you're Grandview, because now Colthrow can spread that all around the map. And yeah, I mean, things starting off how things usually do for Grandview University. This is such a tough team to crack in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Colthrow is just such a beast. on these jungle champions. And once again, showcasing that he can do it all. He's got the Zhao. Well, throw in the Lee Sin on top of it. And the Lee Sin already having the Dirk. That's a bit of damage if he ever sees any champion in his face.
Yeah, why don't we quickly take a gander and look at how much armor has been built 5 minutes into the game. It's 0 because nobody has gold yet. He's doing true damage to anybody that he finds, essentially. Arrogant took the bad end of a trade as the minions just wrecked his health bar, and Colthrow smells blood in the water.
They
They didn't tag him! They didn't tag him with the E. They had the read perfectly, with just not enough range.
And unfortunately, Colthrow can't take that Lee Sin Q all the way into the base. Unfortunate.
Or I'm sure he would have.
Yeah. It would have been a sight to behold. You know? Might have given over a kill to Arrogance in that case, but I'd take those highlight reels.
I'm interested now if you are able to use the resonating strike the second time and at least start the animation, but then the Gnar recalls, if you would actually follow him like a thresh hook. But more testing is required.
It would get canceled.
All right, Colter, I'm going to need you back into the top lane so we can try something out.
We're going to have to spend the next 10 minutes just to test this interaction, just to see if we can nail
Granby
it
don't
down.
have anything better to do.
Mizzou are looking for something better to do.
It is going to be Colthrow starting up that Drake bot prio here for Lobos and Chookies. Death Sentence does land. Chookie's not able to get that Black Shield off in time, means he loses half his health bar. But the wave is still pushing. Azog obliterated it. And that's going to help their jungler get the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, they were just trying to make sure the wave doesn't get crashed into their end. And in that manner, the Lee Sin's perfectly fine in soloing the dragon. Yes.
Oh, man.
Okay, wait,
what a
he's going.
combo there from Platypus. The Ignite comes down.
Ignite, yep.
He lands everything, and now he's just whacking him away. No mana, no problem. Scion solo kills the Gnar.
Yeah, and this
Didn't
is
think
why
I'd be saying that one today.
Unsealed Spellbook is just such a great summoner, or such a great keystone in these unfavorable matchups that all of a sudden just turn it favorable, because at level 6 you get access to Ignite or Exhaust if you want it, and then you just go. And you saw there, he went and he found the kill, and now Gnar is put on the back foot, and that's never where Gnar wants to be.
And that whole fight starting off, or that solo kill rather, I hesitate to call it a fight, was because Arrogant got a little bit greedy. He went for the extra auto attack to get a tower plate, got hit by the decimating smash. It had done some damage, I think, with the boomerang blade or something, but he took 2 tower shots to start that one off. So Platypus, good recognizing the mistake from Arrogant and punishing that one. It's those really small micro mistakes that Grandview just consistently here in the MEC have been able to use to get these gold leads. It's only 1,000 so far, but this isn't even a team that normally comes online in the first 10 minutes. It's around 15 to 20 where they start really pushing the gas pedal.
Yeah, and especially with this composition, you do want your first mythic to come through, especially for Koskinen, and because that's when this champion in the mid lane, Karma, is just going to hit so much harder. And same with Colthrow, like, the moment he gets his, what looks like to be an Eclipse, once he gets that, like, holy
big
hell,
damage
that
on a
damage
Flesh
is
Yowl.
gonna be
There's
disgusting.
4 plasma stacks on him. I'm not unconvinced that if Azog had gone for that auto attack, that Flesh Yowl wouldn't just be dead now. Ghost
He would've
Toasties
just
didn't
been
even
popped.
use the heal. Man, it is going to force both bottom laners back to base, though, which means Lobos and Chookies get some free time on this bot tower.
All I have to say is Ghost Toasties had, he had some things of steel there. Just staring down all the damage coming in onto his
No fear.
onto his plushie owl, and he's just like, don't worry. I've seen the multiverse, and in only one situation do you actually die.
I find that a little bit hard to believe. I feel like there was probably 4 or 5 different ways that Lobos and Chookies could have secured that kill. We see both flashes up. We've got Ignite. There's the Killer Instinct online. But Ghost OCs does make the right call, I guess. He doesn't burn his heal. Plushy Owl stays alive and a disaster averted. All you did was give over a plate. Could have been a lot worse, but that's not enough here for Mizzou. They need to be getting something back for themselves. And this top lane has been one of their biggest struggles is Arrogant. I mean, I don't even really want to say that he's playing poorly. It's just the Coulter won't leave him alone.
Yeah. Coulter's just spent a fair bit of time up towards that top side already. On the this time around, Flippy the coin, he'll be able to try and steal away at Crowcamp, but Crowcamp also did get nerfed in the recent jungle changes.
F in chat for the Krugs.
Yeah, and now they're going to try and set up for a dive. This is the real thing that they want to do, but unfortunately...
That sentence does not land, and it's Lobos going in aggressively. Killer Instinct to the back line. Now the whole team's here, and he realizes he's made a mistake. Chookies flashing away, culling, only half of it lands. And Chookies is running into the rest of his team, which means Mizzou, they're going to have to take what they got and get out. Kill onto Lobos feels really great.
Yeah. At the very least, they were able to kill this Kaisa, and you know, I'm actually surprised Chookies went and expended his flash. Fortunately for him, he was still able to get out because of it. But the 1-for-1 trade, definitely not great, especially when you invest 4 members into that play, and on the flip side, they just go, whoa, wait, do we have a Rift Herald, guys? I think we do. Let's just throw it mid.
Man, it's so tough. Because Mizzou, I mean, they've been running out of options all game, and they felt like that was kind of their last play. You can't kill Koskinen in the mid lane, and this is a karma. And your top lane, Colthrow, has just been up there all game, so they try to force the play on bot. Gets turned around 1-for-1, and you can see Grandview wasted no time, and they didn't have to commit anything to that play. It was just Lobos and Chookies doing what they do. It was Mizzou that put down 4 members down there. So mid lane tower, bot lane plates. Now Mizzou want to try to force on this dragon. They're channeling TPs, but so is Grandview. They want to contest this one.
Yep,
down to 1,000 HP.
Oh,
they're just going to give it over. Here comes Platypus. Grandview just going to look for the fight afterwards. 2-man decimating smash into the stopwatch, and there's no answer. Plushy Owl already down. Flippy the coin out of the fight. He has the ultimate, but 5 seconds ago, he was still this low. Chunk onto Gnar. Arrogant has to flash. Exhaust coming through. Cold Throw goes in, and he's going to be able to finish him off. 2 kills for Grandview. Mizzou don't want to give him any more.
Yeah, at the very least, they were able to come out with that dragon, but unfortunately, they just lose 2 on the back end of it. So it's still a gold lead that's slowly expanding, but you have to give credit to Mizzou here. The gold lead isn't crippling. It's only 3.5K at 14. It is large, but it's not again backbreaking at this point. If you still have the Lucian, you still have this Sivir, and once Sivir hits that first lethality item or the lethality mythic, that's when things should start turning a little bit more favorably for the side of Mizzou. But you're gonna have to endure the next couple of minutes as they wait for those items to get online.
Yeah, and we also have to keep Colthrow in mind. A lot of these early kills have gone his way. He's participated in 4 out of 6 of them, picked up 3, and he's already on that edge of night. So sure, if Twilly and Ghost Toasties get the 2 items, that's great. But what if Colthrow just takes them out of the fight and they don't get to do any damage? That's the goal here for Grandview University, and that's what they have to avoid for Mizzou. As
Eclipse, that's a big burst of damage. It also gives like all the other stats. It gives the shield. It gives
a
you
lot.
Extra move speed. Like the extra move speed cannot be underestimated here too, especially for a champion that has to kind of stick onto targets. That is going to be gross. Now
Arrogant diving in, looking for a trade. He has Plushy Owl on his way, which is why he's doing this. But Platypus up a level. All of that turned
Still
into
an ult
half of
available.
Platypus's HP bar. Can they finish it off? Unstoppable.
Yep.
Platypus is going to get out of there. No sweat.
Yeah, really good usage of the ultimate. Getting a nice angle with it, importantly, means that he's able to survive. And now Arrogant. Oh, it's
Yeah,
just so
and-
close. You know he wants it. I want it.
Platypus doesn't seem worried though. I mean, he's trading away his health bar for the minions, but so what?
Yeah, he's in the same multi-universe as Ghost Toe Seasons. Like, yep. In that same universe, well, I don't die either. Sorry, guys. And in fact, in 10 minutes, I don't think I die in any situation. Ever. Again.
Yeah, I mean, he did get close, but he still had the flash there, so he didn't seem too afraid. Grandview currently working with a 3,000 gold lead. Now, it is 16 minutes in. This is the time of the game where Grandview usually start pushing their advantages, and it comes around these big objectives. They like to move into your jungle, steal away vision. Mizzou seems like they know this. They're going to try to bring members
what
up
a
here and
shot.
defend it, but they've already taken out Plushy Owl. Look at that damage coming through from Cold Throw.
Oh my god, that's also, you know, the max strength binds coming through. That is so much single target damage. And you can't do that to a Plushy Owl, man.
I
So
gotta
soft.
say, I want to give a quick shout out to Mizzou and to their coaching staff or whoever is like helping these players understand their macro, because I actually think that was the right place for Mizzou to be. Grandview University have a tendency when they're ahead to play around objectives and to try to very greedily take over vision in your jungle early on into the day. You should contest them. They're just so far behind at this point. Now they want to try to catch Platypus. He has the flash. There's the
this is
ultimate,
beautiful.
but it's been interrupted. Can they finish him off? Nar is mega.
Wait.
They've ulted him the wrong way, but he still goes down. Flipping the coin gets kill credit. Mizzou finally some gold back into their pocket. What can Grandview get for themselves? Dragon is spawning soon.
And the kill also goes onto an important target, right? Because it goes onto your Echo, who has the ability to kind of do similar things to what the Lee Sin's currently doing. And that is delete single targets. And he's going to be even better at it come mid-late game, because he's going to be able to burst targets down, but then use his ultimate to get out of that situation. Now, oh, that's a fine landing.
Man. This
it.
is not support karma, by the way. Koskinen is going full AP. He's got the Luden's Echo. He's got the Dark Seal stacking up. So I guess joke's on me for thinking that this was going to be a weaker Koskinen by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the Moonstaff karma here. Moonstaff karma just does not have a good time into, of course, the Lucian. It is going to contribute a little bit more in these team fights, but the damage just makes a little bit more sense. I actually would have liked. Okay.
Oh, here comes the engage. Cold Throw with the insect. He's unstoppable. Arrogant just gets deleted.
And
Now
the chase.
Platypus, he's got the move speed. He's chasing him down. Plushy Owl will be sacrificed alongside Arrogant.
Oh, Cold
For
Throw,
Mizzou's
stop.
sin of being on the same map as Grandview University. That's illegal.
Oh, Cold Throw, stop!
They've had enough,
You gotta
man.
give him something. I guess he said, well, you guys had that second dragon, you know. That's all the leeway I'm about to give you. So,
One
now
break,
I'm about to kick you in.
1 tower, 2 kills. That's all that they've gotten so far.
That's an
Grandview
inhib.
University have taken inhibitor pre-20 minutes. And they look like they might not be done. Platypus is sticking around. The rest of his team's like, all right, buddy, let's go. Scion,
Oh,
let's
wait.
leave. Okay, Nars into the back line. Chuki's has to go golden. Mizzou maybe finding some fights. No, the health bars, they don't have enough damage. They get them so low, but the gold lead is too high. Grandview University survived the engage, and Plushy Owl is left all on his lonesome to try to defend against this 5-man squad. Grandview, they might have picked one of the most snoozer comps in League of Legends, but they're going to end this game right at 20 minutes.
Yeah. What a wild ending. They actually survive with everyone up. And that means right after the inhib goes down, the death timers aren't actually short enough, even though it's only at 20 minutes, that they're able to go ahead and just walk in and finish off the Nexus. That is wild.
Yeah, and I mean they're kind of just sticking around, right? And you can see they were ready to leave. It was Platypus sticking around, and then it was Mizzou Esports re-engaging when they thought that maybe they had caught the Scion out. But it's a Scion! How many times that game did Mizzou get Platypus down to like 300 HP and there was nothing they could do? He still had the flash shield, the ultimate. He's got so much safety. His team's right there. You can't kill this man. And Grandview taking in a very easy 20-minute game. We should be in for a pretty fun one next game if Grandview follow their typical recipe.
Yeah, it's not really this first one. It's the second one that if things go to, theoretical plan, this next draft could be extremely, extremely exciting to watch.
Yeah, but we're gonna toss to a quick break before that. Give the casters some time to digest what just happened and give Grandview a chance to put together that spicy draft for themselves. Don't go anywhere unless it's to watch the LCS. You can do that during the break, but then once we're back, it's back to the main monitor, baby. We'll see you then. Welcome back, MEC fans. It's the C-Lol skirmishes here. A Night Star and Audio bringing you Game 2 now between Grandview University and Mizzou Esports. Game 1. I mean, coming into this one, I think, we expected Grandview to be favored. You always expect Grandview to be favored, but the way that they won that game, the time frame that they won, and the comp they did it with, they somehow still find a way to surprise me, even after watching them for 2 seasons and watching them dominate for 2 seasons because they just won in 20 minutes with Sion, Karma solo lane, and a Kaisa carry, but it was Colthrow on Lee Sin, and I guess that's all you need.
Yeah, that really was all you needed. And I mean, 2 champions. I guess you can throw the Scion in it as well, just because Scion kind of had that frontline presence to allow Colthrow to do his things in the background. But going into this next game for the side of Mizzou, the drafts felt fine. The rotations felt fine as well. It really just comes down to the micro stuff where, having the jungler match roam timings and then just win those trades, because there is a world where they click things a little bit better, which is kind of strange to say, but you click things just a little bit better and you find the kills rather than lose those kills. And that can make all the difference, really.
Yeah, I'm actually a really big fan of Mizzou Esports. Throughout their history here at the Midwest Esports Conference, they've never been one of the top teams. Grandview's always kind of held that first place with an iron grip, and below them, we've seen Robert Morris, we've seen IC, but never Mizzou. But I'm still a really big fan of how they play the game. Their drafts have always been very intelligent in my eyes. I think who's ever working on their coaching staff, whoever's helping these players behind the scene, has got a good head on them. And I think if they can, shore up those mechanics, if they can get through laning phase without losing 3,000 gold to CS, without dying a couple of times in the actual lane, then they've got a decent set of foundations, and I think that they really could compete. It's just the fact that Grandview, man, they're so good. All of their players are, you have to put them in number one, at least in the Midwest Esports Conference. And yeah. Grandview, even when you look outside the conference in, CLL as a whole, they're kind of up there. They're not at the very top, but they're not a team that you ever have to sleep on.
Yeah, it's not a team that you're going to instantly write off, and even the individual players, we see them on amateur teams at the moment heading into Proving Ground. So it's very exciting to see or just to follow these players. But into second pick and ban for the side of Mizzou, I'm hoping that we get similar things, but maybe just pack a little bit more early game with the jungle pick, just have a little bit more impact, some sort of cheese pick, maybe the Jarvan, maybe it's going to be the Zen, just something that can hit level 2 and pick a lane and maybe throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, I know the Xin Zhao Volibear is becoming increasingly popular all over the world. You do get a really good skirmishy duo with the nice early game buffs that the Volibear got. Arrogant, though, or rather Flippy the coin, Arrogant locks it in, but it's going to be Mizzou taking away the Lee Sin, so perhaps they want to get a bit more aggressive. Here we go, though. Grandview, let's see what they have for us. This is game 2, Grandview University, after a win. So you know it's going to be spicy. It's a first pick Lucian.
Okay. They go ahead, lock in the Lucian. Of course, they do have River sighted in at the moment. So maybe a little bit more aggression coming out from this mid lane to ramp up the pace. That would be really exciting. But I think it really just comes down to what's this follow-up pick that really sets the tempo of what they want to do in this game 2 draft. And the Nidalee comes out and the fire is there.
Nidalee Lee Sin, what meta is this, Nightstar? It's been a while since we've seen these two champions at the top of competitive play. I mean, the Hecarim's banned away, but there's still a lot of other picks on the table. Don't do it. I can't handle this 2 weeks in a row, Nightstar. Please.
Let's do it.
No. We had this literally in game 3
Cassiopeia
of the actual CLAW finals. Illinois College picked a Teemo Cassio bot, and I cried. Grandview, you're teasing me, and I don't like it, okay?
Mizzou, they heard your calling. They were like,
no way.
Wait, Audio said that we're one of his favorite teams in this conference?
Yeah, don't screw it up.
Throw him a gift. Let's throw him a gift.
No, but it is going to be Plush Diablo back on that Thresh. Ghost Toast, he's taking the Jinx this time, and You know, the Jinx Thresh in okay lane, it is one that is a bit vulnerable. You have that Thresh for safety, but the Jinx is a very
Ooh.
immobile ADC. The Auric was a spicy hover for a minute, but I do like this Renekton. Super good pairing with the Nidalee, and Grandview pretty much just one top side, kind of no matter what.
And Grandview do have such a dominating top, but also the dominating mid lane if they do land
Yeah.
spears. You're going to have a lot of priority regardless of the situation with the Lucian. So at the very least, Nidalee is going to be able to walk into your jungle and look to be aggressive, knowing that there's going to be a Lucian behind her. And of course, top side, well, man, arrogance, you know, he's got to have the big brain calculations now because he needs to find an answer to Renekton Nidalee.
Yeah, and I think this draft gets really hard from this point for Grandview University because not every Lee Sin can be Colthrow, right? I mean, Colthrow got 3 losing lanes essentially last game and just still stomped the early game hard enough to end it in 20 minutes. But with a Jinx Thresh bot lane blocking that in really early, I think it's going to be pretty easy for Grandview to get a winning bot side. They've already essentially won top side. If Lucian goes mid, that's a pretty tough matchup to go into as well. I'm really worried about the lane state for this Lee Sin to actually have the ability to make plays here.
Yeah, I mean, Colthrow just kind of hits different, you know? So,
Colthrow's built different, guys.
oh, man.
Don't try what you see from Colthrow at home. It's not gonna work.
Definitely
hurt
do
yourself.
not use what you're watching here on stream as something to... You can aspire to do it, but don't take it as the standard. As Braum getting locked in here means that there is also consideration Lucian will go into that bottom lane and into a Jinx pick. I don't mind it because you just have a lot of early game pressure onto Jinx, and all of a sudden Jinx has to really respect the lane and play really defensively.
Yeah. However, I actually do like this Cassiopeia pick coming through for Twilio. There's a lot of movement abilities that you can block with the well-placed miasma, especially if you can set up around these chokes. I think is going to be pretty important for a Cassiopeia, for a Jinx. This Fiora is really risky, though. I wouldn't really like this. Arrogant, if he locks this in, I think the Wukong makes a lot more sense. Grant or Mizzou need a front line. They need somebody to stand in front of Jinx and in front of the Cassiopeia. Otherwise, I mean, you're going damage for damage at that point if you lock in the Fiora, and Grandview has a lot of damage.
Yeah, it definitely is. But you know what? They could have locked in the Teemo top lane, given the extra poison tick to Cassiopeia. You know, we saw it. We saw the synergy.
Enough out of you,
last week,
Nightstar.
But
I'm gonna
solo
take
lanes
one more
means that
time.
you
I'm
get
gonna
the
take away
EXP.
your color caster card. You're no longer gonna be allowed to do analysis.
It does look like we're going to see Nico locked in here, which again can be tossed into either bot or mid lane because this team does play Nico bot.
This is going to be a Lobos pick for sure. Lobos, this is a combination that Grandview have run a couple of times before. The Lucian pick, just briefly touch on that, very historic for Grandview back last season when they had Disconnector as their ADC, and then swats him to top lane so they could actually bring in Lobos, and they essentially had the best 2 marksmen on their team at the same time. Lucian was just the best pick by it away, and it won them so many games. Now though, even Riverside kind of learned to play it, is a pretty good Lucian, and it's allowed Lobos to bring out these unique picks like Nico, which not traditional, but what it does is essentially allow you to be in lane by yourself. I expect Chookies to do a lot of roaming with Colthrow, with Riversided. You can still get that Lucian Braum combo. It's just mid support instead of bot support.
Yeah, and the roaming Braum also puts a lot of pressure onto the jungle here because you're going to be able to walk around with Nidalee, and Nidalee, because she is a ranged champion, she has a lot better time in being able to proc that Braum stun as well. So when it comes to trying to fight for these Scuttle Crabs, you definitely have to favor the side of GVU, and the Thresh really has to be on point. But the problem is if you leave with Thresh, the Jinx, if she's stuck in a lane with perhaps the Lucian or maybe a one-item Nico where all of a sudden the Nico just has that extra burst potential with the Everfrost, you just can't do it. You can't do it. The Jinx is just too vulnerable.
Yeah, and the Nico is such a self-sufficient champion too. Like back when Marksman really got shoved out of the bot lane and we saw a lot of these mages come in, like Heimerdinger, like Syndra. Nico was one of those ones that did fairly well because she has a lot of safety with her clone. She's got tons of wave clear. She's got her own CC. Specifically against Thresh, she's a pretty good pick. I don't know the specific timing on it anymore because I know it was actually nerfed, but you can use your clone to interrupt the queue. If you use it right when you see Thresh winding up that death sentence, you throw out your clone for him and there's no way he can hit you. It's blocked every time. So I think it's a really good pick to allow Shookies to turn into that roaming Braum support, which looks a lot better for Grandview's comp. I know we saw it. We were kind of like, I don't know about Braum in that bottom lane, but if it's a roaming Braum, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, because if he visits that top lane as well, Renekton can pretty much insta-proc that stun, and you just have so much stun potential up top side. Wukong's not gonna have a good time, and even in this 1v1 matchup, Wukong still has quite a rough time early game, which again, GVU, that's what they're going to be targeting here with this Renekton Nidalee. They're looking for Kultor to once again go probably 6-0 by 12 minutes. That's the game plan here from GVU, and for Mizzou, Flippy the Coin has to go and flip some coins.
All right. Well, the winner of this series will be taking on Purdue in an hour and a half. So, Grandview, if you want some extra prep time, be quick about it. Mizzou, you've really got to step your foot to the pedal if you want to win this one. We're going to toss it to a short break as we get into Summoner's Rift, and we'll see you there. And we're back. No time at all. We've joined these teams on Summoner's Rift. Mizzou Esports down 0-1 in this best of 3. They need to win these next 2 games if they want to go on to face Purdue later on tonight. But just keep in mind, finals are over. Grandview already are champions. This one, just for funsies. Wait, 2 River-sided. That's better than 1 River-sided. How is Grandview going to lose now?
But you know what's better than 2 River-sided?
What could be
4
better than 2
Conquerors.
River-sided? 4 Conquerors!
They're about to
not on-
conquer
I-
this game.
Oh, 4 on the side of Mizzou. I was looking down Grandview. I saw 2, and then I saw the 2 press the attack. Press the attack onto Lobos, by the way. So this is going to be the on-hit Nico, like from the way back days. This is the secret tech. This one fell off quite a bit. It was popular in top lane for a while until Riot kind of gave it that nerf hammer. And from then on, it was, really down to the just the mage Nico, the CC Nico.
Yeah, I actually played a lot of on-hit
Me
Nico
too.
up top side because I play any. If they say there's a ranged champion that's viable up top lane, I will go ahead and try it.
Sold.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to convince me. Just name the price. I'll do it.
Vayne, Nico,
Karma.
Timo, whatever. Karma.
My soul.
Not Timo.
Team.
It'll be interesting because this does mean that the damage profile is pretty heavily indexed towards armor, which is going to be nice for Arrogant. You get a lot of free armor through your stone skin. Wukong can itemize into a bit of armor with things like the Death Dance himself. So should Mizzou get out to an even start, if they can make it into an even team fight, maybe they can find a way to work with that. But we haven't seen them in that position. Haven't seen much of anyone in an even position against Grandview all season long.
Yeah, that's a bit of the issue, but you know what? At the very least in this bot lane, should be a better time knowing that it is on hit Nico for the Jinx being able to just go ahead and farm the lane out a little bit better, of course. When you're up against that AP Nico at level 6, you do have to be prepared to eat a very sizable chunk of damage on that all in. And even in lane, the Tangle Barbs do throw quite a bit of a threat onto a Jinx.
Yeah, those Tangle Barbs are actually super deadly because you can throw them through the minion, get the stun, and then often, because you're using that minion to set up, Braum can just hop to that same minion, and he's got, a perfect opportunity to land the concussive blows on a rooted up target. We'll see if Lobos and Chookies are able to actually pull that off. Right now, it is Flippy the Coin down on the bottom side.
Oh, he can
As
take
a
the fight.
mid lane scuffle, River-sided. Twilly, you got to flash after that. 2 more auto attacks, he'd be dead. I mean, he has no mana, but that was an opportunity I think missed for Mizzou's mid laner.
Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity, but with Fleshy Owl here, with
Now
Flippy
they're
Coin
still going to
here-
try to go for
Oh,
it.
no.
Flippy
Wait,
flashes
oh,
in,
so
but the
close.
resonating strike hits the caster minion. River-sided will blow his flash, but he'll stay alive.
It hit the caster. He got in the way.
Caster brutality.
Feels bad, man. But you know what? We're still casting this game.
For now. Hit one more caster and I'm going on strike. Mizzou.
I'm coming straight at you, Flippy. We're gonna have to have a talk, son.
And I think Mizzou might have recognized that that was a window that Grandview doesn't normally leave open. This isn't a team that, at least at this level, offers a lot of opportunities for you to get an advantage onto them. And, Twilly maybe had the chance there, maybe not, we'll never know. But as soon as they recognized that Riverside was staying around, you saw how hungry Mizzou was to actually try to punish him. Good job by Coldthrow to hover around Riverside to not go down. And now it was the bot lane play. Flippy the Coin, he's wrapped around. Plushy Owl starting this one off very low.
Oh,
Chookies
teleport?
flashes away from the Chompers, and it's a teleport being channeled. Mizzou are going to get out of dodge.
Yeah, nice use of teleport coming in from Riverside. It means that he's able to keep his bot lane alive and quite healthy. And it only cost him his teleport. Of course, he was most likely using that teleport to get back into lane anyways. So it's just kind of a bit of a
flash forward, Platypus!
Okay.
There's first blood for the Renekton. Point, click, top, die.
Yeah, and that was without the interaction here. But now Riverside, he's in trouble.
Not able to get behind him. Does land the resonating strike, though. And Flippy the Coin this time will be successful at taking Riverside down. Now Platypus, he has the level 6 dominance available. Arrogant, no
dear.
such luxury. Conqueror stacked.
Oh, so
Nobody
close.
dies. Nobody dies. Oh, so good for Arrogant. If he had gone down there right after the teleport, would have been disastrous.
Yeah, but it still feels disastrous here because all of a sudden he's at 1 HP. He has to go home and recall. Whereas on the flip side, you look at Platypus, he's going to be able to just use that teleport to get back here. So there's just a world of difference in lane states now because of a small little mistake coming from Arrogant. He hits level 5, but not level 6, and then he just wants to try and trade that kill immediately back, but unfortunately that's not the timing window. You're not level 6 yourself, you don't have that extra skill point, and Platypus turns things around, and now he's really just off to the races up in the top side. And we don't usually see a whole lot of strong side top out of Platypus, but in this matchup,
This is game 2 Grandview, not game 1
Exactly.
Grandview.
Exactly. It just works out so perfectly, and now Plushy Owl, he could die 1v1.
The spear lands, good
Uh-oh.
play away, but the damage still goes through. One more, and Goldthrow's gonna grab that kill.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
Plushy Owl, I mean, this is not really, like, you hate to say it, but this isn't really your jungle for much longer. This is what Grandview does to you. They take everything away from you so early on into the game. Even when they really shouldn't be able to. Against the
Look at
better
this top side,
team, I don't think they're quite able to make that move. Flippy the Coin makes a visit up there, but Coldthrow is already on the dragon, and Platypus smartly is playing this one safe. Unless Arrogant actually goes in,
Yeah.
but his jungler isn't there
Get it.
anymore. Platypus doesn't know that, so he's just gonna
Oh,
walk
no.
away. Arrogant doesn't find the kill. Platypus has the dominus. He's baiting this. There it is. That slice,
Oh, no.
dice. There's the stun. There's the kill. Flippy the Coin is long gone, and Platypus wins that 1v1 almost every time.
That is slice, dice, I kill you twice.
I'm gonna use that one. Thank you, Nightstar. I'm stealing that from you. Coldthrow, he was waiting to
Riverside-ed!
get
Oh,
past the minions. Now Flippy the Coin might be in trouble. Kicks back, Riverside-ed. Can't get the kill in trade. Good job from Mizzou. Able to find that one kill on Lucian.
Oh.
Unanswered.
Yeah, and as well as top lane is going, mid lane, not so much. Has died twice already. You give a kill over to Lee Sin, you give a kill over to Cassiopeia, both extremely valuable kills, but now they're looking for the dive. Of course, the Lobos with this Nico ultimate can tank, do so much damage in lockdown.
Yep, it's gonna go in. It's gonna be Chucky's tanking it up to start. Takes 2, backs out, and
Beautiful.
goes
Oh,
Toasties.
wait!
He lands the Super Mega Death Rocket, and so they will get one back for themselves, but it's still free time on the tower for Grandview.
That's such a nice play coming out from Ghost Toasties at the end, being able to find that kill to at least return. And that means, at the very least, they get some gold back into their pockets. But interestingly enough, Lobos actually didn't get the assist onto that kill, which is kind of wild.
Really?
It feels bad.
They must have, they blew up Plushy Owl so fast that Azog didn't have time to finish his ultimate. It takes a bit to wind up, you know?
Yep.
Long animation, the damage doesn't come in until the very end of it. Coldthrow's
Indeed.
too good.
Coldthrow just does too much damage. You know,
It's actually
you say
hurting
the
his
Nilly's
team.
too tonky, but she also just does too much damage too.
All right, now Plushy Owl roaming up. Coldthrow's gonna spot this out with a very nice sweeper. Death Sentence lands onto him though, same time. Platypus engages on to Arrogant. They're both half HP.
Uh-oh.
Platypus wants more. Arrogant's gonna fall. Twilly in the mid lane has to flash away. Concussive blows didn't proc, so he will live.
Ooh.
Top lane, it's still just the 2v2. So far, it's just Grandview coming out with a free kill. Nothing else happens. Now we'll see if they can get more. They found Flippy with the concussive blows. They're just gonna force him out of his jungle and take this Rift Herald.
Yeah, free kill, but they definitely looked like they wanted a lot more. Now get Azog a little
Ooh.
bit of trouble there. Does
Okay,
navigate.
I got too excited. I gotta save those oohs for when something actually happens.
I mean, it's probably not going to be up in the top side because slice and dice, I kill you thrice.
I mean, it's already happened 3 times. Like, at what point does
Exactly.
Arrogant actually learn his lesson? Is it going to stop, or is it going to be 4, 5 times? Are we going to slice and dice? I kill you 6 times is kind of nice. Riversided. He falls down to the poison again. This is Twilly's 2nd kill.
Oh, wait.
Flash into the turret from Ghost Toasties. Not too sure about that one. You're dead either way.
Yeah, a rough play there for the Ghost Toasties. But, you know, at the very least.
They want something back. Resonating Strike not landing makes it a lot more difficult. And yeah, you don't land your abilities, you can't get the kills.
Yeah, and Flippy just couldn't get around those minions, unfortunately. Man, those casters.
Revenge of the caster minions. They're really just out to get Flippy the coin today. You know, he's hit him twice now. Once more, that's 3 strikes. You're out, Flippy.
Okay. And
Caster's only going to take so much abuse.
exactly. You know, we just get bullied all the time. They're just farming us all day long. Like, when do we get a say? Hello?
Everyone yelling at us because of some mythical curse. Like it's our fault that you got reverse swept when we said that you were for sure gonna win it.
Exactly, and now we're looking at the gold differential. It's 4,000. It's
Well, you
very
know what,
reminiscent.
Grandview? Listen to this. There is no possible way that Mizzou Esports could ever take a game off of Grandview today. How's that sound, Grandview University? Platypus going in. They've dropped the Rift Herald, and they force the bot lane away. Shelly will pick up this tower. Only a single plate. Not too high on the Shelly health to plate ratio there, but it's going to get the 2nd charge off regardless, and it's going to buy time for Grandview to pick up their dragon. So Grandview get absolutely everything in this bot side. They force away the laners, they get the dragon, the towers, all of the camps. No way! Okay. Whew, that was close.
Yeah, that zoomed by. If that actually
Colthrow did
hit
not
Nidalee,
use-
if that
yeah.
actually hit Colthrow, that would have been actually been stolen. But they just take everything on their way out. They take the Krugs, they take the red buff, they take the dragon. It's so brutal because yes, even though you were able to survive, no one died in that bot side engage, but you still lose gold. You get gold denied away from you. You're not giving them gold in the form of kills. You're giving them gold in the form of, well, thanks for all of the minions here.
Gold is gold. You're going to take it wherever you can find it. Mizzou, not finding it too many places right now. Riverside, it's been the only source of income that they've had so far. And, I mean, it has resulted in at least Twilly being ahead of the curve. He gets out to his Mythic before anybody else on his team. So if they can play around this Cassiopeia, again, Miasma going to be pretty powerful. Here's the fight. Arrogant goes in onto Lobos in the backside. Meanwhile, Chookies is taking on 3. He's going to jump off to Platypus, but Arrogant not going to let him out so easily. Platypus now in a 1v4. He slices and dices his way over the wall. A slow from Ghost Toasties.
Flippy,
Colthro's there to
get him.
back him up.
Get him!
Flippy walks too far forward, doesn't have the vision. And Platypus, nom 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 nom. It's going to launch that one away. Grandview University gets, I think it was 1 for 1 there.
Yeah.
At the end of it all.
Wild as it is, it only was a 1 for 1. And I don't know if Platypus is make that sound when they munch. But you know what? We're about to see
I don't think
platypus go at it
crocodiles
again.
do either, or giant void dinosaurs, to be fair. I don't think League of Legends is quite on par with its realism.
You, rename
Although
him the Cookie Monster, man.
It would be cool if Riot were to make, like, biologically accurate voice lines for some of their characters. Like, we get to see Platypus just have a crocodile roar, snapping sounds. I don't know. Trying to look, what other animals do we got? Monkey sounds from Arrogant. That'd be awesome.
yeah?
Wukong has some ooh-ooh, some ah-ahs. Ghost Toasty is going, oh no, right now. As he's facing down 3, Platypus, his 3rd tower shot. He falls a little low, but Coulter's got him topped off. There's no damage left to put down on him anyway. Grandview Diversity pick up the tower.
Yeah, and now we're looking at a 8,000 gold lead. And I'm just thinking, well, you've got a 5-0
Flash
Renekton.
forward. Flippy the coin doesn't hit.
Beautiful stun.
Twilly does, though, when he gets the Miasma too. Riversided, he walks away. Doesn't have the damage. Huge play. Huge recovery there from Twilly.
Yeah, and at the same time, you look on over on the side of Mizzou. Yes, you lost 10 plates to 1. But at the very least, your Lee Sin is in a okay spot. He's definitely not ahead of the Nidalee by any means, but you're still able to keep things competitive. And then, of course, then you have this pretty large Cassiopeia. Could have snake sounds if you really wanted. Shout out to our animal conversation, but she is so powerful, and it really just comes down to, can she position well enough in that next team fight to win out pretty much one man solo in these fights, or at least set things up for maybe a Jinx pop-up.
You know, Nice Star, yeah, I hear everything you're saying. Totally agree. You make some great points. I just want to point out that as big as Twilly is, he is still the 4th richest member in this game.
He pales in comparison.
Platypus is topping the charts right now with 9,000 gold, which comparison, Twilly, the most fed out member on his team, currently sitting at 6,600. You then got Coulthrow at 71. We've got Azog at 76. So, you know, Twilly, although he is very strong, he's still fighting a uphill battle here. And the team fight is going to have to be so immaculate for Mizzou if they're going to win out on it. We have to look at Twilly, and we have to look at this Miasma. This Miasma in every fight, it can either be massive or it will probably be worthless, because if you don't hit multiple members, then somebody is going to dive onto this cast and try to blow her up. And she doesn't have a stopwatch yet. There's no way, except for the barrier, to really protect yourself.
Yeah, definitely very vulnerable here in this next team fight, and that actually means that they're going to give away this dragon. And
no,
they also gave away the red buff.
Mizzou doing everything they can. It took them 3 players to walk into that jungle, set up some forward of defensive vision, and try to take down that red buff, and Chucky steals it away with a Braum Q. Oh,
yeah, what's the Braum Q called?
Educate me, Nightstar.
Winter's Bite, and he took a big bite out of that one.
Chomp.
Oh, no.
Red buff didn't stand a chance. Now Riversided. I mean, for Grandview, as long as nobody other than Riverside.
Kill him again!
Right? I mean, at this point, he's almost like worth a minion.
Woo!
They do get him. Now Platypus is going to try
Run away!
to vengeance for his fallen mid laner. Level 13 to the level 11 and 10 of Flippy and Arrogance. Arrogant is just trying to body block him. Platypus has no interest in the monkey.
Protect the
blind
president!
monk. He's going to get away. But not without learning his lesson. You cannot just take Riversided's life 5 times in a row and get away scot-free. Platypus will at least make you think twice.
Bleed a little.
Yeah, he'll make you bleed.
Yeah. What I'm waiting for is, well, not for Platypus to get this QSS. That's not what I'm looking for. Come on,
What's
man.
up with that, man?
I'm looking for him to lock in. Give me the Navori Quick Blades.
Yeah, I mean, you're the most fed person in the game, and I guess perhaps wanting to make sure you don't deal with that Cassiopeia ult or, a Thresh Hook, but there's just, I don't know if those CC abilities are ever going to be met with the damage it actually takes to take Platypus down. So he should have been fine going for more damage here, but hey, he's 9,000 gold right now.
He doesn't want to give up the bounty.
10.5. I mean, fair enough. But
I
hey,
think that's his reasoning. Probably. Maybe.
We'll never know what goes on inside of Platypus's mind.
Yeah. Besides,
He's,
oh no, Arrogant.
65 CS up right now. Arrogant not even allowed to walk into the bottom half of the map to collect the wave. He'll be taken out way before he sees a minion. And now, Colthrow dropping that Rift Herald in the mid lane. They'll get the tier 2 without it, which means this charge will be thrown solely at that inhibitor turret. Now, the game was already over by this point last game, so Grandview are actually well behind the curve. But they will open up the base here 21 minutes in.
Playing really lethargic. I don't know what's going on. Either way, I think it gives Purdue a great shot in the finals because GVU not looking great. Slowing down a little bit in the second game. A little bit too much.
And I think it just goes to show how dominant Grandview actually are, because Mizzou and Illinois College were actually tied in record in the regular season. Remember, it was IC who went all the way to the finals against Grandview and got absolutely stomped in a 3-0. And now Grandview are taking the team that had the same exact record and going to stomp them in a 2-0 as well. So you could just see by far Grandview are our best team in the tournament. And a lot of times, teams that go up against them can look kind of silly. Lobo's silly place to back on top of a ward. Is he actually going to go down? Like, I'm hesitant. Yes, probably. Okay, finally. Twilly is going to get him there. He was in a 1v3, but you never know with Grandview.
Yeah, and that's actually a massive shutdown. I believe there was a 200 gold bounty on him, even though he was only 1-0, but it means that Twilly cashes in on yet another big value kill, and Ghost Toasties, ooh, he gets...
Good spear on to Ghost Toasties. Now here's the engage. Shookies is buying as much time as he can. With the Braum, he's still alive. Twilly into the back line. He's looking for Riverside, and he's looking for Colthrow. But all the rest of the fight finds his Platypus. While Colthrow or Twilly is busy just buying time, Platypus has single-handedly killed everyone.
Navori Quick Blaze would have done it better.
Would have got the Penta.
Yeah, exactly. And now it does look like they are going to go ahead and end the game. They are on the Nexus. They've thrown in the teleport. And, well, I mean, with super minions, they should be able to.
Yeah, there's no way that they don't end the game here. Arrogance is not enough to stop them. He's going to try, but the second Nexus turret has fallen, and that means that all you need to do is hit the Nexus. Grandview might choose to pad their stats a little. Okay. No, they're going to end it quick. They've got another match to get to. They'll be taking on Purdue here in about an hour.
They've got to get some munchies. Or, I mean, maybe not Platypus. He definitely had his fill in that game. And unfortunately for the side of Mizzou, 4 Conquerors couldn't conquer that game.
Fights didn't last long enough, man. They weren't even coming online. They needed 4 press the attacks. They needed 4 electrocutes. Yeah. Something that was actually going to go off before Grandview just obliterated their health bars.
Yeah, they needed a little bit more power early on, and unfortunately, the Conqueror wasn't in it. But, I mean, it's not to say that Mizzou are a bad team. That's not what we're trying to get at. It's just the fact that these are good players, and they're still getting just slammed by GVU, and it's really more so saying that GVU is just that good.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing else to say about it, honestly. We got another series to get to. Nightstar, do you have any last thoughts? Because I think we're ready to toss this one to a break. We both need it.
I hope Purdue is digesting what they've just saw, because it's their turn next, and I hope that they have something really special to show us when it comes to draft.
Yeah, I mean, these are the skirmishes. This is the time to bring out the sugar, the spice, and everything nice. We'll see what these players have for us in about an hour. Stay tuned. Make sure you're back here. We're going to have Purdue taking on Grandview University. We'll see you then. Welcome back, Midwest Esports Conference fans. We're back with another match here in the C-Law skirmishes. This time, Grandview, after taking down Mizzou 2-0, are moving on to face Purdue in what is going to be, unfortunately, Nightstar, the last match here at the Midwest Esports Conference. C-Law skirmish, all of it. This is it.
Well, we better make it a
The
good
cry.
one.
I'm sure
grab my
Grandview will have no
tissue.
problem doing that one. They've been giving us some banger series lately, and the last time against Mizzou, they played one game with Koskinen where it was a very safe scaling composition, Scion, Karma, the whole works, ready to curl up in a blanket and snooze till 40 minutes, and then they ended in 20. Game 2 was a little bit
Yeah.
slower, but like slower by comparison, it was still like 23 minutes.
It was a wild 2 games. And I guess the question is, does that same wildness or unpredictability transfer into this game? And I think the first game, again, we talked about it in series number 1. The first game's probably going to be a little bit more conservative, making sure they get that first win notched in, and then the next game, then we'll see the side of GVU start to get a little bit more crazy, a little become a little more mad scientist-esque.
Yeah. Grandview here on the blue side, Purdue on the red side. And if you're Purdue, you got to question what you do in the draft then, because you've now just seen Grandview play a best of 3, where they won one game with a lot of scaling, and then they won a second game with all early game. And they won both of them in very equal accelerated points. So, you kind of have to, in my mind, have something prepared for this team. This is where whenever I see a team go up against Grandview, especially in game 1, I really look at, okay, have you been prepping for them? Because they should always be the team that you are looking at to try to beat with some unique, crazy combo that they haven't expected.
Yeah, and I mean, even to that regard, if we're talking about that first series, they were ready. You saw the lane matchups. It felt like it was all the lane matchups that the side of Mizzou could have wanted. It was kind of like the perfect draft for them. Of course, it's not like they instantly win off of draft. You still have to transition into game, but the lane setups were really nice, and they still killed over in 20 minutes. So
I'm talking about more than that, because Grandview in the Midwest Esports Conference, at least, it feels like no matter what, they're going to win lane. And so at that point, you might as well just try to create as much chaos as possible, because if just getting a winning lane matchup isn't going to help you, then try to draft skirmish. Let's get the Xin Zhao Volley Bear in here. Let's just try to create as much chaos. And sure, Grandview are mechanically gifted enough that in a lot of skirmishes, they're going to get kills. But if you can get kills too, it's better than the alternative, which is Grandview forces you out of your jungle at 12 minutes and you just stop getting gold.
Yeah, and it does look like they're taking more of a skirmish approach. They have locked in the Misfortune, who, of course, out of the AD carries, probably the highest harassing AD carry, not known as Senna. So, MF going to be a great lock-in. For the side, on the flip side, it does look like they're considering what they want to run for Cold Throw here. There we go, the Xin Zhao. I hope it's not the clips that he has already shown us. I think he's shown us 3 games of it or something like that. But I hope it is going to be the AP or just like the hard AD carry build. That would also be really fun, because you're critting just like for a bajillion damage.
I think it will depend on what we see out of the draft here. With this Alistar coming in, the lethality build is seeming a little less likely, because you do have now the Volley Bear and the Alistar. So if we had seen like tons of squishies, then I'm like, yeah. But I'm right there with you. I'm hoping we see AP, hoping we see full AD, because that would fit really well with at least game 1 Grandview's playstyle. It's very safe across the map, but Colthrow is always the one anomaly. He's the Lee Sin. He's the Xin Zhao
He goes wild.
goes out and just gets all of the gold for Grandview University. He goes into the opponent's map, just takes everything he has and just donates it over to the rest of his team. So I'm excited. Ivern gonna be banned away. They saw that one hovered and they said, nah. No shields. No protection. You're gonna die.
Ivern would have made this Volibear Alistar incredibly frustrating to play against because they would have just gotten so many more stats and so much HP. We'll see how the side of Purdue, they end up rounding out their composition, and it does look like they're just doubling down, tripling down onto the frontline meatballs because they've got the biggest of them all in Cho'Gath.
Yeah, very beefy front line for
Set is perfect.
Purdue here. Set would be fantastic. If you can take one of those meatballs, bring him into the back line, do a bunch of damage. I still want to see the pick out of Toponer, though, because Toponer's kind of the last question mark here for me. Purdue do often play through their carries, Udon and Toponer, very heavily, so it doesn't surprise me that we have triple front line to protect them. But especially having the counter pick, I think Toponer's going to kind of be the chance for Purdue. If they want to create some chaos, if they want to put Grandview off of their comfort, it will probably come through this mid lane. You called it out. This set, it's locked in. I think it's a great pick.
In addition to the set, we're going to get Darius. So Darius going into the top lane. Set could go into either the support or the mid lane. Either way, I think it's going to be fantastic. And if this Kassadin does get locked in, the set is just such an oppressive pick into it. So I would hope not. But regardless, Set will be able to shove out the lane in whatever matchup he does get. And against Cassiopeia, maybe we end up seeing Karma thrown into that mid lane just to be able to get a lot easier wave clear access and be able to rotate with this Zen. So, yeah, I like parts out of both teams' drafts here. You have the extra spice coming in from the side of GVU, and over on the side of Purdue, you've got a strong back line combined with a whole lot of front line.
Yeah, you do. And Grandview, at least game one Grandview wasn't completely true. We get to see a small deviation from that plan, where normally Platypus is playing more of these weak siders, these tanks. Now he gets to be on the Darius, and I'm licking my lips for that lane matchup, Darius and the Cho'Gath. Even you throw Volibear in the mix, Darius is great. Another tank for me to lifesteal off of and just decimate. This is going to be a great time for them. And you still got Koskinen on the Karma in the mid lane. You've still got Lobos on his Jinx. This is Lobos' Jinx, not just Eddie Jinx. So even if the aggression that they've drafted doesn't go their way, which is Grandview, it's probably going to, they've got that safety that game one Grandview always likes to have.
Yeah, the compositions on both teams are, again, really exciting to see. Come late game, it's going to come down to Lobos. Can this Karma keep him alive? Or does he just kind of run into the meat grinder? Or, I mean, maybe it's not even that. It's just the fact that he can't even tickle this front line. Cho'Gath, Volibear, Alistar, that could be a possibility. And on the flip side, you're waiting, maybe this is Xin Zhao, just even late game.
I'm hearing a lot of late game here, Nightstar, and I gotta ask the question: are we gonna see a late game? Because remember, Grandview with their game one Grandview last series, they ended in 20 minutes. There was no chance for their opponents to come online. So that's the challenge here for Purdue. You gotta at least do better than the last guys, and that means you gotta make it to 30 minutes on the clock.
25.
Survive against Grandview University. Come on. Let's hope that we get to at least 30. Let's give a little bit of respect.
All right.
We're gonna toss it to a short break, though. We'll see if Purdue is able to do it, or if Grandview is gonna run them over like everybody else. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 1 here. In game 3, if you've been a Grandview fan today. But their first one against Purdue, we'll see if they're able to fare better than Mizzou did.
Yeah, looking for the best of 7 victory. That's what a 4-0 would be. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well,
It would be a
time
day
to
in the
find out.
office for Grandview University.
That's a long series. But you know what? I would definitely be down for a longer series. Because I mean, I need to spend more time with my boy Audio. Like, Purdue,
Well-
make it happen.
That's so sweet, Nightstar. I would love to spend some more time with you too. And good news for any of you out there that love watching us spend time together here on the desk, because the Upsurge Contenders League are starting back up next week.
Oh yeah, baby.
Guess who's going to be on the desk? It's none other than Audio Star. Came up with that myself. Trademark pending.
I'm all for it. I am all for it. We need more duo names to come back, because it used to happen and now it seems more of a faint memory.
We're bringing it back though, and bringing back level 1s is the Alistar, surprisingly. Love Sona walking up for that pulverize. You don't often see Alistars walking up in the first level, especially against a set. This should be the level 2 push for Lobos and Shookies down here though. Just because of how weak Alistar is, you know, he's gonna get shoved in level 2 regardless.
Yep. Level 2 obtained, and now, I mean, for this early game, it really comes down to these junglers, right? No, you stink on this Volibear, definitely an early game jungler than what we would consider some of the other junglers. Comparatively, he wants to try and gank, he wants to try and skirmish as much as possible. However, on the flip side, we also have Xin Zhao, who is that and more in the early game. So now you see Xin, he's already in it. He's already in there.
Throw. He's got his
Get him.
eyes set on No You Stink. 1,
Oh, he's-
2, 3,
oh, no.
knock up. He gets the red buff, but is he just going to leash it over? Flash followed. But Cold Throw doesn't have the angle. He didn't follow in the same spot. The Volibear gets out with his red buff. A little bit of scuffle on the bot side will not turn up anything.
Did he actually get his red buff? I think it got taken away by Zen. I think he went buff to buff.
Hold on, thought. We'll check in just a minute. Lobos is probably going to die
goodbye.
here. Flash forward, one more auto. It's the Alistar that picks up the kills. Can Udon get a second, or will he go down? Heal
Yes,
has
flash.
to be popped there. And Shookies will flash out to safety. And you're right. I just checked the Volibear. He only had a blue buff that just fell off. So Colthrow does get that steal away.
Yeah, that's a 3 buff coming in from the Zen, and I'm surprised that No You Think didn't really account for the fact that he's playing against the Zen. So really, you can't. You have to keep that in mind when you are taking that buff, and perhaps you consider just a straight buff to buff route instead of trying to go for a full clear. But unfortunately, he doesn't account for that, and Colthrow meets him at his red buff, steals it away, and now No You Stink starts out flashless, and that's really a lot of the power that comes out from a Volibear early game.
Yeah, and it's so tough, especially because look at the lane assignments. The Karma's always going to have push early on. Your Darius is going to push in. The Alistar is not good level 1. So there's not a lot of protection either for No You Stink. Colthrow, because of his 3 winning lanes, knew that he could walk in, and any fight that he took was going to be a 1v1. And in a 1v1 against Xin Zhao, the Volibear doesn't really stand a chance. Now Shookies, maybe looking for something, gets pulverized.
Oh no.
We can trade that damage back. They do get the stun onto
I've seen this
Lobos.
before.
Big chunk of damage, and Lobos is shoved back. But here comes the teleports.
All the
Volibear's coming
teleports.
through, but who's going to get there first? ADCs. Kosk gets the first kill onto support. Udon's about to fall. He does. Koskinen gets the second. And that's just a purely positive Grandview play. No members traded back 2 for 0.
Yeah, things were, it looked like a great trade for Udong and Sona there in that bottom side, but the turn comes through, the teleports just come a fraction of a second faster, and that makes all the difference. It means that Lobos, he's actually able to survive and just turn the play on its head. And yes, both kills go on to Koskinen, but again, we saw in that the first game of our previous series, this man will just go Ludens, or I would assume something like I would hope in this game, something like a Leandries, and that is just so much damage.
Koskinen may play the Karma, but don't let that fool you into thinking he's playing for you. He's still very much a threat and a carry. Now,
this mid
should the game extend past that mid game, though, the Karma would obviously fall off. But we haven't seen Grandview been pushed to that point. Like, this Karma in the mid game, as you pointed out, is just as deadly as the other mages. So.
Yeah, now
Grandview getting to do whatever they want. No Use Think has now been forced out of his jungle again. Coulter is taking away his Krugs. 41 CS to 38 hasn't been a huge gap. Oh, but the game's just getting started. Oh no, he lands the W. Coulter looking to just
nice
completely zone the Cho'Gath away from the tower.
Oh, Koskinen's up here too.
This isn't fair.
Cylindric, run, my son. He doesn't get to play the game.
At this point, if you're Purdue, you have to be making something happen on the bot side. No Use Think is going to start up the dragon. We'll see if they're able to collapse on it.
Yeah, it does look like they're going to get priority in bot side, which means easy rotation coming in from bot lane. They go ahead, take away this dragon, and it is, of course, an Inferno, so that will help their damage profile, especially given the fact that they are so tank heavy. And that's going to help them out come late game.
Gotta ask, though, was it a worthwhile trade even? Sure, you get the Drake, but that Cho'Gath missed 3 waves. He's still missing waves. He can't even walk into XP range. He's 2 levels down.
He's still level
Platypus
5.
has picked up 2 plates at this point, so that's another 300 gold into his pocket.
Oh, no.
Cylindric very much cannot even get to level 6.
Make it stop.
He's finally made it back to his turret. Hooray!
Make it stop.
He's fighting for
Platypus.
literally every inch in this lane.
Platypus, honestly, he could have just recalled right in front of Cylindric's face, and the ideal play would be just to let him leave. But now, yeah, it's already a 30 CS gap up in the top side. That's, I mean, if you break it down, that 6 minions a wave. That's 5 waves. That 30 seconds a wave. That's 2.5 minutes.
It's already a 900 gold lead for Platypus, just 8 minutes in. The gold lead that you see on the board right now pretty much is Platypus.
Yeah. Oh, man. Don't blind pick tanks right now in this meta, and don't blind pick Gnar as well if the other player plays Irelia. That's the 2 rules of top lane at the moment.
Yeah. And this is kind of what I was talking about in the draft, where I really wish Purdue, instead of going for this very controlled playstyle, which, yes, does fit them very well, I think going the avenue of just making the game as chaotic as possible is your better shot. It's Koskinen trying to get run down. Topona really wants him, but he ran right into 3 members, wasn't really expecting it or didn't really care. Koskinen, either way, is not going to go down. We'll get the Honeyford to heal him right back up. And Grandview will not be deterred. But if you face Grandview, even ground to even ground, they're not just going to beat you. They're going to make sure you don't get to play the game. That's exactly what they're doing right now. You just don't get gold.
Yeah, they're being so gold starved at the moment, especially in that top side.
10 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a rough time here. And he doesn't even get Krugs.
Like, this is why I think if you're playing against Grandview, even if you don't play it, pick the Renekton, pick the Lee Sin, just get aggressive, because otherwise, Grandview know that if they do this, there's nothing that can punish them. Not for another 20 minutes.
Oh man, that is. It doesn't get better for Cho'Gath, I guess. And
It
now
only gets worse.
2-level
Chucky's-
difference.
He dunks Alistar backwards. He has to flash
power
away from the Super Mega Death Rocket.
That's
A
Cassio.
TP coming in, but you got to remember, the Alistar is out of this fight. He cannot join. So Deponer is going to teleport in just to walk away. And he might get tagged by Colthrow. No. Good Q there is going to give him the move speed he needs to get out safely. Still probably going to miss minions in mid lane, as Colthrow is going to make sure he cuts him off. God, they're so good at starving gold away from these carries. Deponer has no choice but to come back down bot. Look at Colthrow. He's not.
Oh no.
He's
Deponer.
never going to let the Cassiopeia back into mid lane.
no,
If
Deponer, don't do
wants
it.
to get to his turret, he would have to base. Chucky's now walking
no.
forward. Deponer flashes away.
Colthrow?
Why are they fighting? They're fighting just to get access to their mid lane tier 1. And no, you
That's
stink
the
pops
objective.
the ultimate. Grandview University says, okay, great, we got all your cooldowns. We'll back off. We'll see you at the dragon in 50 seconds.
Yeah, and that is the objective, right? Because if you give it up, you're losing 150 gold just to tower. So you kind of have to just all in and try and trade for it. Yes, you're going to lose camps or lose time being able to clear camps, but now
Could be a
they
bait.
have an opening.
Koskinen, as he walks too far forward, gets headbutted back into the team. Miasma, you're not going anywhere, and it's a shutdown for Deponer.
A shutdown for the Deponer. That's a massive shutdown for him because it just makes up for the fact that he did, of course, lose a couple of waves in EXP to that tower in the mid lane, zoned off. But Colthrow, he'll be able to still push things in, and he's trying to get a little bit more damage down in that mid side. Will get the charge off. Can
Alistar,
they get a
nice
kill?
try. I bet he wishes he had his headbutt right now.
Close.
Pops the ultimate. He's gonna tick, go down.
Ow!
Shookies grabs the kill, and Azog, a nice snipe. The Super Mega Death Rocket. 2 kills means that Grandview gets to take Dragon now. And Shookies
He
might
gets-
look for more.
He got a 1v1 kill in that bot lane as the Jinx. That should never happen. Yes, Udon Bidon kind of taking a more conservative build here. He's going for the mana immune. Maybe he ends up going for the lethality build, which of course is pretty good, but now Platypus.
Teleport channel. This Platypus
found
is
it.
in a
Oh,
rough
he found
spot.
it.
He did get Deponer. Will he get bursted down, though? One more noxious bite. He finds it. A second shutdown to the Cassiopeia. Can we make it a third? Solendric grabs credit for that one. He needed a little bit of gold, too.
Yeah,
But 2 kills there for Purdue. Is Lobo's going to get aggressive here? If he can kill this tower.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no.
Uh-oh.
Runs out of a wave. They have him trapped.
But
There's nowhere that Udon Badon can go. Chookies is zoning
Okay,
the wave.
teleport.
Alistar just trying to get back to his marksman. He's hitting Colthrow towards Udon.
Solendric?
And now they're going to fight in the choke. 2-man rupture.
Also
Nom
on
nom
Cookies.
nom. Not quite enough to take him out.
Wait, what?
Cho'Gath not feasting that one. Chookies! He falls, almost finding a triple, but he didn't have the damage. Now Colthrow and Lobos have to run. Purdue have been finding fights. They've been finding kills and unanswered ones at that multiple times now in a row.
I think that
Well,
was
that one was answered with Udon. Yeah. But the other ones, they've brought this gold lead all the way down to 5,000 at 14 minutes. Congratulations.
Yeah. You look at the kill score, you're just like, oh yeah, baby, we're in the game. Look at the shutdowns. The Deponer, he's doing great. Solendric,
still down
he's
a
able
goal.
to get a kill to try and get things back in his favor. And then you look above as spectators, and you're like, wait, guys, I don't think you're actually that close because So many plates have just vanished. They got 0 plates. I'm pretty sure they got 0 plates or something like that. A very low amount of plates, which means that's gold that they don't have, that the side of GVU were able to claim. And then the farm differentials, like, holy smokes.
Yeah. And it's one of those situations where, as someone in the game, it can be a bit deceiving because you don't necessarily see the goal difference represented on the scoreboard if you don't actually see the goal, right? 7 to 5 kills, 1 Drake to 1 Drake, sure, 3 towers to 0. It's when you start looking at the experience bars that you can really see how far ahead Grandview is. Up a level in the top lane, you've got actually, now that I'm looking across it, not even really represented there. So a lot of this gold for Grandview feels hidden. Like they don't look as strong as they actually feel.
Yeah, it's not apparent to the side of Purdue, and unless if you're accounting for plates, but even then, it's so hard to keep track of them at this point, because of course you're not going to see the plate numbers and being able to count them up. So I'm just really worried for Purdue here, because most likely what's going to happen, they see the kill score, of course. They see that, yes, they're down 3 towers, but towers don't necessarily give you a ton of gold individually, because all that gold is backloaded into or front loaded into the turret plates. I feel like they're going to go ahead and take this next dragon fight, and then the game feels like it could just be over from there.
Yeah, and speaking of this next dragon fight, look at the items that just came through for Grandview. You've got 2 Stride Breakers, a Luden's Echo, and the Kraken Slayer. 4 Mythics
Stride
compared to just the
Breaker.
2 here on the side of Purdue. Funny facts. This patch came with a bug fix. Apparently, Stride Breaker and Gore Drinker have been 100 gold too expensive since the release. They were always supposed to be 3,200, but they've been 3,300. That was included in the bug fix mentions of this patch, not even as an actual buff, but technically their cost was reduced by 100 gold.
As intended.
As intended. So Riot sneaky that one in, tried to sweep that under the rug. As strong
get
as
that
those
one
items
past
have
us.
been, I don't really mind, I guess. As Azog, he gets excited and he looks for Udon. The super mega death rocket
Chookies.
almost took him down. Alistar is going to pay the price, though. And it's almost 20 minutes into the game. You know what that means. Grandview looking to take this
It's
one
Nexus
to game
time.
number 2.
It's Nexus time. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to come to a close that soon, unless if the side of Purdue do opt in for straight 5v5 or 4v4. That could put things into question. Otherwise, you're going to see Cultural just fall back, go ahead, take this dragon. And, I mean, going back to my disappointment here, I mean, come on, man. Cultural. We had so many expectations. We wanted to see fireworks, and then you just give us this? This build? Come on, man.
Lethality. I mean, there's not even
Fully
that
carry.
many.
Gale
Squishy. Oh,
Force.
yeah, goal throw.
Yeah.
You wanted to see Gale Force coming through. Stride Breaker is okay. I mean, it gives you the engage, the lockdown that you need to get onto the backline. And we've mentioned that Toponer and Udon, this comp lives and dies with them. These 3, I guess you could call them front lines. They're so starved at this point that they don't really feel like it. But regardless, they don't mean anything if you don't have carries to back them up. And there's enough damage coming through from this Jinx, this Darius to blow them up. Cold Throw just needs to lock them down.
Yeah. It is, it's a more conservative build, and I mean, it plays to the playstyle that, hey, we want to
It's
just
game one,
win game
Grandview.
1, and then, you know, next game, then
Game
we'll
2
bring
we'll
out the
get
Night
AP.
Harvester.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Rocket
Right.
Belt, you know, that's fun too. But Platypus.
They're looking
This is
for the
fun.
dive. They might not even need any help. Boner's going to flash away. Chucky says, no, you don't. Brings
Oh,
him
wait.
right back in.
Okay.
They're going to look for Chookies here. Flashes away from the turret. A massive bullet time. gonna get one. That's it. They only got Platypus, but for Purdue, that's more than they've gotten for a while. They do get a kill back for themselves as Deponer falls.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they were looking for there with this composition. Is, well, if you jump onto the Cassiopeia, show him who's boss, Solendric.
Okay, Solendric has been. He got Horizon, Flame Horizon. He's down 100 CS. Okay, sure.
Can't stop him from flashing forward and chomping down on Mr. Colthrow, as we're gonna see the gold graph here. Yeah, just a slight difference up in this top side, but also a slight difference in this bot side too. Actually, both of these lanes incredibly lopsided, and that actually makes up pretty much the entire lead.
Yeah, there is a lot here for Grandview University, and they're
Oh, here they go.
looking for Koskinen. He's a little bit caught out. Looks like he was trying to shove this wave for the Baron, but he's got nobody around. Deponer will happily take that kill.
You know, for Purdue, they could have just tried clearing out vision onto the Baron buff, and if there wasn't any vision, which, I mean, obviously you can see that there is, but if there wasn't any vision at 20 minutes, you can just do it with this Cassiopeia. She's just so strong right now. She is 3-2-2, has the completed Leandri's Torments, very close to his Zanyas or Deathcap, whichever, or Zanyas or Seraphs, as she does lock in that Seraphs. So 2 items completed. She is very powerful. She can carry in Udon Beaton as long as he's put in the right position, will also be able to contribute really well in these fights.
Looking for that bullet time across multiple members. Udambadan is suffering himself. He is, almost 50 CS behind. Has not been able to hit that second item point despite his itemization being, much cheaper. Is this a Edge of Night, or rather what is the lethality mythic? I was confusing with Edge of Night. Eclipse. Is this an Eclipse coming out here from Udon?
I would
Second
assume
item?
so, because of the lifesteal and the serrated Dirk. And given that he has... Oh, okay, well, Deponer's dead.
Yeah, Deponer's going to die here. Continue your point.
Yeah. So Udon Beaton going with the Comet would indicate he is opting for lethality build, and it would make the most sense here.
Yeah.
They
didn't do much for him in the laning phase, unfortunately,
Yeah.
as Lobos is scaled quite comfortably. Even went for the rapid fire second. Although the Runan's Hurricane is more common, this build gives you a little bit more single target damage, a little bit more chase
Safety.
potential. I would say safety if this wasn't Lobos. So I'm going to say chase potential. Because Lobos doesn't play safe on Jinx, and at this point he doesn't need to be. It lets you do things like this. You get the rocket out, you get that bonus range, and then you get the rapid fire queued up, and you can just, once you get some crit in there, you're going to start chunking people for like a quarter of their HP with one of those.
Yeah,
From
you
so far
basically
away.
become a poke mage.
Yeah.
You know?
It's Ezreal, but better.
Yeah, except it crits, and all of a sudden you're just left wondering where'd my health bar would go. And it also just comes down to look at how much poke that they do have. They have this rapid fire cannon Jinx, who once she hits her third item, that's when things will really pop. And then you also have Koskinen on this Karma, being able to poke people out with, of course, the Luden's Echo Karma. So there's just so much damage coming in from long range. That's the issue with the Cassiopeia, is that she is just outranged so much by this composition on the side of GVU.
Very much so. And that's why we really pointed out the need to play around chokes for this Cassiopeia and to have this miasma, because although you are very heavily outranged, at least there's not any crazy forms of engage. Platypus and Goldthrow are just going to run straight at you. So if you can get into a position where you're fighting front to back and you have to force them to run through a miasma, through a bullet time, that's where Purdue's composition really shines. But Grandview have never given them that. Hell, they haven't even let them walk into the jungle, let alone set up around a choke. They have just been so oppressive, and now here's the engage. They're looking for it, and they might have found it. Great bullet time. Doesn't do very much damage. No use think it's going to pop the ultimate.
Honer.
Grandview, Shookies is gone down low. The health bars are dropping. Lobos is not in this fight yet, but it's still Grandview getting the
He's here
kill.
now.
The gold lead is too big. And Purdue rather, are on the run. Mizzou fell earlier. Purdue is Grandview's latest victim. Why do all of these teams have to rhyme? Grandview gonna go for the Baron now.
And you know what? Audio, they miss you as well.
Grandview, Purdue, Mizzou.
We miss you. But we like the view. There we go. All right, well, Baron does get taken down. They waited for Chookies to come back alive, so nicely done there. A nice little awareness. And, I mean, it's a 10,000 gold lead. But it looks like we could hit 30 minutes. Audio, we could possibly hit 30 minutes.
We might. I mean, it's a mountain soul. If this is like an infernal soul and an ocean soul, I'd be like, okay, Grandview, you're gonna take this and just end the game. But hey, yeah, all it is more armor, more protection, and let's face it, at this point, Purdue weren't doing that much damage anyway. We're kind of just at a point where Grandview are waiting until they have enough damage to overwhelm the turrets, and with the Baron, that's going to be a hell of a lot easier. There's a decent amount of wave clear on the side of Purdue, which is what has been holding them on this far. We'll see if they can do it against the Baron.
Yeah, however, the nice thing is, if you look at Mountain Soul, it doesn't really change the fact that, well, Cho'Gath Chomp still does true damage. He could find the deletion onto a target in that regard, and for the Poner, you still do a lot of percent health damage. You just need a Void Staff to do it a little bit better, but he's still going to be incredibly powerful. They have to find a way to protect this Cassio is the issue, because in that last fight, he walks a little bit too far forward, tries to chase after, I believe, Koskinen, and he just got absolutely punished on the backside.
Look at that. Platypus goes in with the Stride Breaker, and then Grandview just immediately kite back. They predicted the engage coming through. Alistar walked forward, didn't get a single ability. He was never in range. He's lost 3/4 of his HP, and Purdue haven't been able to do anything. Now, the Alistar heading back to base has to heal up. Grandview attacking 2 lanes at once here. Solendric has to flash away. That Stride Breaker, 20-second cooldown, can be used again and again and again.
Along with that, of course, long-range autos coming in from Lobos. That will hurt a little bit. Takes a bunch of damage from that MF Ultimate, but now MF Ultimate gone.
It's going to buy them a little time. It's not going to force Lobos to reset, but he will go take the Grump to get a little bit of extra healing and mana, and then continue the siege. I think they expected Lobos to reset, though. No, they see him. They're calling a teleport. They see the Lobos in the bot lane. They're going to take the 4v3 in the mid lane. They're looking for Cold Throw, and they find him. Now Platypus is behind the squad. Lobos is trying to end the game right now. Platypus looking to buy time, looking to cut off their escape. He's going into the middle, and he's doing so much healing. They can't take him down. They don't have enough damage. Now 2 members retreating to try to deal with Lobos. Poner is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Lobos is going to deal with them handedly. And Grandview, game 1 Grandview. They will not let Purdue take them to 30 minutes. They will end.
Are you sure?
Okay, don't make a liar out of me. 29 minutes and 48 seconds.
So close.
If Purdue would have made it to 30 minutes, they would have won.
I know, right? That's when the auto FF vote comes through, and
we got outscaled. Sorry.
Exactly. But I mean, in all honesty, for the side of Purdue, it wasn't a bad showing. They you saw on your screen that they were able to find those scraps, and they were, well, I don't mean like scraps as like stuff on the floor, but like they were able to find the skirmishes. They were able to get down and be scrappy with the side of GVU, and we need to see more of that. That is what we want to see. A little bit more fighting early game, and then being able to find those small mechanical plays, or being able to get maybe a little more fortunate and just have one of those coin flip plays go in your favor. And after that, maybe you just run away with those advantages. We need a little bit more of that against a squad right now that is just looking too good.
Yeah, and I think we need a comp to support it too. Playing the scaling into Grandview, it's not going to work. They're not going to let you scale. You have to not necessarily change your whole play style. Like you can pick late game insurance champions, but you have to have tools to fight in the early game. And this Volibear, this Cho'Gath, it just wasn't it. There was too much scaling and not enough early game playmaking. Grandview got complete control of Summoner's Rift from minute one. They had so much control that Koskinen was actually active in Twitch chat throughout that game. It was a nice little surprise to look at Twitch chat on my second monitor, and Koskinen, he's doing the same, I guess. So it was just that easy. Especially going into game 2, though. I expect game 2 Grandview to come out. We should see a much spicier draft, and I'm hoping that Purdue, they're expecting it and adapt. We're going to toss it to a short break, though, as we get ready for that matchup. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 is going to be coming at you soon. We're back, everybody, and we're already into drafts. No time wasted here in game number 2. Game 2, Grandview does not mess around. They are here to win, and they are here to win fast. They got Clash to get to, dang it. And they're going to be on the red side this time. It is going to be a swap from game 1. We'll see if they follow their normal recipe of going for extra aggression. They did swap in Riverside, so everything is going according to plan.
They swapped in Riverside. At the beginning of the lobby, they also had Koskinen, so, you know, that could have been
Koskinen's
really
grounded
fun.
for being on Twitch chat during game.
Yeah,
He's been banished to solo queue now.
exactly. So, you know, been banned, thrown into the shadow realm, as now we're into pick and bans, and the first 2 bans, interesting. Taking away the karma, of course, the Seraphine makes a little bit more sense, but deciding that, you know what, we're not gonna
doesn't
let
play
Riverside
the
play?
karma as much, though. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure he could. Riverside is a fantastic player, but he is much more a carry. And Grandview, when they swap him in, play him as such. I have not seen him on karma, at least in recent history, and I would dare say throughout the MEC. So that one is a bit interesting. The Darius makes sense. The Seraphine makes sense, but makes me sad because I think teams should still be picking her up, and she is still very powerful. But against a team like Grandview, an argument can be made that, you know, it's not going to be worth it. We don't have enough time to scale.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to scale, and if we give it over to them, they'll somehow be able to really snowball off of it, because again, that 1 AM power spike is still very powerful, and GVU are a squad that once they hit that 1 item, they hit hard, and the Udyr is going to try and stem that.
Udyr, some small nerfs on this patch. They hit his attack damage growth. Is going to mean that his clear, just kind of all around, all of his stances is going to be a bit slower.
Yep.
I don't know how much those buffs or those nerfs are going to actually hit him. I am not a jungler, so we'll have to see. Still could be very powerful. Xin Zhao plus Galio locked in here for Grandview. Some semi-globals to add into the fray. I like it.
Yeah, and I like the Xin coming back out again. Hopefully this time around we get to see another
AP,
build.
AD.
Oh, yeah, full crit. Let's go. And Xin Zhao with the Galio. You know, Galio, great mid-game champion. I would assume it goes into the hands of Chookies because, again, while Riverside probably has played it before, it doesn't seem like it's a Riverside-style champion. So, you know.
I wouldn't be as surprised to see it go to Riverside. I still think Chookies could pilot it, but especially having the Galio in the mid lane is always a plus. Getting the option to get level 6 sooner, be closer to the side lanes. And then also just the fact that, you know, you can have some pretty aggressive itemization with the Galio. He can really start to chunk you out. Please lock this in. I would love to see Platypus change or play this. There was just some nice changes to the Yorick. Got some good buffs. Oh, he teased me. Boo. You're playing with the caster's feelings, man.
I'm sad. I'm all around just sad. We do get to see a Caitlyn locked in though, and I love Caitlyn at the moment because she did get some buffs to her, got some of her AD back, and when you are just that range, I just want her to come back as a ranged bully. I don't need to see her in every game, but I want her to be more situational, be an option in that bottom side, because it really changes a lot of dynamics, because you can't just go for something like a Vayne or a Kai'Sa and expect to just get a free lane when Caitlyn is up and available.
Yeah, and I think the problem with Caitlyn, at least in the recent meta, is there's just been so much opportunity to engage on her, right? One of the biggest advantages Caitlyn has is her range. She is allowed to walk up and harass you. You can't really answer back. That changes when you have Tristana and Rel just in every single game, and level 1, level 2, they can jump on top of you without any care in the world. Now that those champions, both Rel and Tristana got some hits this patch. Kaisa did as well. I think Caitlyn is going to be in a bit of a better spot to be that lane bully. As long as, she's not getting aggressed on too much. Aphelios, not one that is going to do that. And Akali locked in here for Grandview. So that will be a support Galio, as Riversided will be playing a champion much more suited to his play style.
I mean, I'm not super sure that we can just write off this Akali from going top lane quite yet. I think
no, don't do that
definitely
to me.
an option, especially if Gragas is committed to that top lane. But with this Aatrox locked in, well, actually here. So Aatrox actually has probably one of the best matchups into Galio. If you take Galio into the mid lane, Aatrox matching, this is such a disgusting Aatrox favored matchup because the Galio just actually cannot do a thing. He can't use his Justice Punch aggressively because then he gets hit by the chains and then you have no escape against the Darken Blades, and even regularly the Aatrox can just use Darken Blades on you to constantly bully you. But Twisted Fate locked in does mean that they don't want to try and leave the Aatrox as a flex possibility.
Yeah, no draft shenanigans this time around. It's just going to be standard as it is. The Gragas support, kind of the only little mix-up. Renekton going to be the top laner locked in here for Grandview. So now we see the whole compositions, and will be Aatrox top, that Gragas in the support, that Renekton in the top, and that Galio support. So, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities to dive on to Lobos, I guess, is just going to be the big thing with the Gragas. Good read from Grandview, I guess I say, to recognize that Gragas had the chance to go into the support lane, because Galio really shuts down that pick. Being able to just bam that taunt anytime the Gragas decides to go in can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, Galio actually has I feel like he has a very good matchup into the Gragas because it is, again, a melee champion into Galio, which feels very good from the Galio end. But in general, for the side of Purdue, the lanes, if you just look at their composition in isolation, the picks are fine for each lane. I just don't envision how it works out as a comp, because you look on the flip side, Renekton slams Aatrox in the early game. Xin Zhao also has a lot of early aggression. This mid lane is just doomed for Twisted Fate. And then you have a Caitlyn Gragas. Well, I don't see what the Gragas does for the Caitlyn in this lane.
He can provide in the laning phase, I got to agree with you. I think it's going to be a struggle, but I mean, we've said that for every single matchup against Grandview University. The laning phase is always a struggle, at least for this comp. If it does get off to a decent start, if you can get into the mid game, I actually like their chances. You've got, some really beefy frontliners in Aatrox and Udyr. You've got a lot of easy to land point and click CC with a ton of follow up. You've got Caitlyn traps. You've got Aatrox knockups, and then the Gragas in laning phase, agree, not going to apply much. Outside of it, though, very good peeling tool when you're trying to disengage from the likes of Renekton, of Akali, of Xin Zhao. You can use that ultimate and body slam to try to give Udon a little bit of safety while your other three go ham. That being said, all of that is assuming that Purdue is able to keep the gold even, and that's not something that we've seen happen too often against Grandview.
Yeah, it's a rough time going forward with this composition, and they're going to have to try and survive a massive dive onto the backline. You have Renekton, Xin, Akali, and then whoever does succeed in getting into that backline, the Galio's very, very soon to follow. So Caitlyn, Twisted Fate, you better hope that this Gragas has like 100 ability haste, because he needs every single point of them.
Well, it's going to be Lane Kingdom for Grandview, and they've called for Purdue's heads on a silver platter. They're going to be looking to take this one 2-0, just like pretty much every series they get their hands on. We're going to send it to a short break. These players load into Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2. And welcome game 2 Grandview to Summoner's Rifts. River-sided in. That means it's assassins, it's dive, it's damage all around. Grandview could be looking to speed run this one.
Right, but audio, if you look at the flip side, if the side of Purdue win, the people in Twitch chat are going to make an absolute killing.
Shh, shh, shh.
I mean,
Don't let them know
I
that,
mean,
Nightstar.
Purdue-
You ruined my secret. I was going to make millions of points.
I'm sorry, man. Maybe you should.
It's like Fight Club, man. The first rule of the MEC stock market is you don't talk about the MEC stock market, okay?
It's okay. As long as you got diamond hands, you'll bounce back. I believe.
Purdue looking to bounce back here. We'll see how diamond their hands are. Because it's a big old, rich old billion-dollar hedge fund of Grandview University, and they're trying to crash Purdue right now. This is GameStop versus the world.
It is indeed GameStop versus the world. They're trying to keep going up all the way to the top, to
Ladies
the
and
moon.
gentlemen, COVID has taken all of my content, so this is what you're stuck with. I'm sorry.
See, you know, their college name is Grandview University, but what is this Grandview we're talking about? And the answer is we're looking at the view from the moon. That's why this view is so grand.
I think you're reaching there, Nightstar.
To the
Grandview
moon.
University, the real treat is watching their gameplay. And it has been stellar all season long. Now, they may be a bit of a big fish in a small pond, and especially with a couple of the teams this season dropping out. We did not see the return of Grandview's one nemesis in Robert Morris University, but we still saw them drop a game or two here or there. So it hasn't been completely without entertainment, as Grandview are always sure to give us a show. Especially with Riverside in, we say second game Grandview, it's a bit of a meme, but they definitely do play a lot more aggressively around this player. And it is a ton of fun to watch. So we haven't seen anything yet, just 3 minutes in, but I'm excited to watch Colthrow and Riverside team up here in the next few minutes.
Colthrow and Riverside teaming up is going to be a sight to behold, because this bot lane, whoo, that's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Yes, you can bring in a TF teleport, but he can only stun one person. You're not going to get AoE gold card like in Season 1 when he just got released.
Really? I did not know that Twisted Fate had a AoE gold card.
It was either an AoE gold card or he could stun turrets. it was one of those two. Like,
oh god,
I'm dead
like the
serious.
prehistoric Ohm Wrecker.
Yeah,
He's a Twisted Fate gold star. Back in my day, we didn't have these fancy items that stunned turrets.
yeah, I just had an
We
ability.
had to use our own playing cards to do it ourselves. Here comes the engage
Oh,
from
dear.
the Galio. Chucky's looking for Udon. It's the flash forward from Lobos. It's the ignite. He's ticking down, and he sidesteps the trap, but Gragas gets in the way. Just going to be health bars traded and a lot of summoners blown. For both
Yeah,
sides.
and I mean, Sona only has one Gragas belly bump, right? So if the Galio goes in onto you as the Caitlyn, you have to decide, do you disengage the Galio, get rid of this tank that's just going to bulldoze you down, or do you try and interrupt and split the fight and take attention away onto Azog? That's kind of the dilemma you fall on, and now there's a Xin coming down for a level 4 gank, and there's only a level 3 Caitlyn.
The Udir's on the way, but he's not going to be here fast enough. Udon is dead. Chucky's tanked up a couple of tower shots, but they're looking for Sona too.
Azog.
He's
So
ticking.
long.
He's not going to fall. Lobo's wail. He's going to get traded back as he tried to go in for that second kill. Riverside had teleported in, but the play's already gone south. And now, No You Stink is trying to re-engage Grandview. They're going to turn right back around. They do lose Chucky's, but they do a lot of damage. Riverside, can he clean up the fight? Colthrow gets that one. Only 2 members left. Colthrow is so very low. So is Deponer. Colthrow goes down. Deponer does not. Riverside falls. Grandview University. What's going on?
They know, they see how stacked, they see the returns. And for the side of Purdue, they run away with all the money. They've got the heist, and I've got quite a loud sound going outside. That kind of killed the vibe, but you know what? You look at what they cashed in on, look right up and down the item inventories for the side of Purdue. They've got a lot of playmaking, because they got 3 lucidity boots.
Yeah. And a lot of that gold going on to the Udyr, which is going to be, very effective. Getting that gold. Hold that thought. Chucky's going in.
They still want
Sona
fights.
taking a big chunk of damage. Lobo's taking a big chunk back. As Udon is not afraid to dish out everything that his support is taking. And level 7 to level 6, Platypus. He's got his teammates here. They're looking for a dive in the top side. No You Stink is on the dragon. Oh, what a smart read. Cylindric does have to burn flash, but he gets away safely.
Yeah, it has to burn the flash, but that is definitely well worth the investment. As now, he's going to be
His
down.
teleport
That
too.
summoner still has the teleport. I don't necessarily think you're teleporting immediately back to lane, especially once that
They
dragon
might-
notification goes down.
I
now you
feel like they were looking for something in the bot lane there, with Twisted Fate roaming down and Cylindric holding onto that teleport.
Yep, level 6 now.
They
on
were
Jotia.
looking for a bot lane dive. Smart on Lobos and Chucky's to, back up figure out what's going into their jungle before they step up to the wave, and they've spotted out everyone, and they've actually forced No Use Think away. He steals the blue buff, but all this time that he spent trying to get the Gromp, trying to get more, Coldrow's cleared out his entire blue side jungle.
Yeah, and an even trade is going to be favorable, I would say, more so for the Udyr at this point, just because he's going to be able to provide just a little bit more at even gold against the Zen. At least that's from my understanding at the moment, with the Zen pick still very much focused around the early game. And I mean,
He just
this
goes
bot
in.
lane,
Both junglers are here, but this time it's No Use Think that is here first. Sona gets down so low. They don't even need the junglers for that
Oh,
one.
here comes
Ignite
Kiad.
finishes him off. Coldthrow dives in now. Twisted Fate is on
Wait,
the way.
the sustain!
Coldthrow with the kill. He has so much damage. And Udon is out. Riverside once again shows up, and the play is already gone south. Now
Yeah,
he's the target.
Uh-oh.
3 people chasing him down. They're going to be able to finish him off, most likely. You can't run away from that Udyr. And again, Purdue find a winning fight in the bot lane.
that was a wild sequence of events down in that bot side, as once again they look for that fight, and this bot side has been just so action packed, and it doesn't necessarily have to be from the rest of the champions coming down into this bottom lane. The Lobos and Chookies, they've been perfectly fine just forcing fights in this 2v2, and now we're going to see the lane swap. The side of Purdue, they're going, well, you know what? How about we just stop this volatility and just allow ourselves to get a bunch of turret plates? I'm down for that.
Yeah, because this Caitlyn pick has to be getting ahead. She is a very weak mid game, and you are usually looking to get as many turret plates onto that champion as humanly possible. That's not getting done right now in the bot lane, so I don't mind the swap. I actually think that it's a bit of a mistake. You can see on the mini-map they've brought Udon down to this Rift Herald to try to take it faster. They should just be giving him solo time on that turret. The wave had crashed. You know, this is a small thing, but it's a situation where, you know, they have the protection for that Caitlyn to walk up and start hitting that turret. She could have gotten a solo plate and then used the turret, maybe gotten the whole tower. Now if they drop it, first of all, Coldthrow's already here. The turret's full HP. Coldthrow is low mana, so they're looking for a fight onto him. He pops the ultimate. He's trying to get to Platypus. Please help me. But he's already down.
Galio coming in.
Galio's going to charge the ultimate. They're going to trade one back. Now No Use Think is running. And he's probably going to fall. It's a tanky Udyr, but he doesn't. That's not his turret.
He's
He
running
can't run to
circles.
that. He's stuck.
To the
Flash
gates!
forward from Platypus. He just wants an assist, man. He's going to get the kill. It's the shutdown. And that's the Herald taken off the map, too. Now Lobos.
To the gates!
He's going to flash, and he'll be fine.
Oh. No, you think he was off to the races, and unfortunately the race wasn't there. He was going to nowhere, as the opponent will also have to expend flash. Thankfully, he does, of course, have the Ionian boots, so we'll be able to get that up a lot faster. I believe it's around 17% faster from the 20 haste. And now Riverside coming under fire.
He has to flash away, but Chucky's
Answer.
is here to save the day. Flash taunt. And Riverside gets the kill, wrapped with a bow. That was a beautiful rope from Chucky's.
Very good run from Chookies. And I mean, both of these support players have just been all over the map. And unfortunately for Love Sona, the Galio just has an easier job doing it, because you have an ultimate to follow up if you roam to the wrong lane. And by roam to the wrong lane, I mean if you roam to mid lane, well, then you have the option of helping out any of those side lanes.
Yeah. Now we are coming up on the 12-minute mark. This second dragon is about to spawn. We're still a few minutes away from the second Herald, but this is where we start getting some big fights. Coldthrow has to pop the ultimate as Purdue are looking for him. Cold in the gold card. They're not able to find it.
Now they're
Instead, it's going to
pinched.
go onto Riverside, but they're
Oh
all
my
in the
God.
choke, and Chookies gets a 3-man taunt. Its opponent's deleted, and Riverside is not done. An exhaust is going to buy a little bit of time. Colthrow finds the third.
Oh, wait!
Double kill to Riverside, and he gets out alive.
No
Ramsey
way!
doing all.
Colthrow! Oh my god, he's just too wild, this man! He is unstoppable! You could even say he is a man. Reference
Yeah.
to be a man. But, you know.
Oh, he's just so good, man. Grandview University are able to pull off that dive flawlessly, kiting them back into the choke point. And then Chookies, once again, the hero play. He didn't have the ultimate available, but it didn't matter. He still roamed up mid at the perfect time and was able to catch 4 members in that taunt and just blew them up. Now, Grandview, the Drake did reset, but it has been secured. Small missmite that was actually a bit sketchy with the Gragas barrel over the wall, but it goes over to them regardless. Shelly popped in the mid lane, and will charge onto that mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, that was kind of just, we're running out of time on plates. We just got to cash in on whatever we can, and I'll just throw it down here. But now the gold gap has once again kind of expanded in that mid lane. It was like a 10 CS lead, and then it was all dead even, and now it's back to a 20 CS lead. So Riverside, as expected in this matchup, this is where he turns on and he really starts running away with this matchup.
Yeah, he is getting incredibly strong right now. Although Riverside did go for the tier 2 boots early, rightfully so. You know, there's a lot of single target lockdown, and Purdue would love if they could just pick on that Akali, but it will at least delay the first item, the Mythic, coming through. Gotta keep that big burst a couple of minutes further down the line. Lobos is too
Ooh,
far
okay.
out. Gets hit into the wall
Yeah.
with the cast. Now it's an immediate teleport channeled. That one's from Riverside. Platypus is still up here in the top lane.
Oh boy.
Coupling with Cylindric takes him down to half HP. Still has a Dominus available. Grandview, 2 lanes of incredible pressure right now. Toponer is hovering. He has no ultimate available, so there's not really much he can even do. He's just going to go back to mid lane and farm. I think crucially, the big thing that I want to applaud Purdue on right now is they're not allowing Grandview into their jungle. Hang on, Platypus dives the turret, he takes it down, then turns his attention to Cylindric. He has a Dominus ticking. But the World Ender was going to, and that's an even trade. So just the turret going. First turret, though, to Platypus.
Oh, okay. The Poner forced to flash
bluff.
out. That's, I mean, he definitely wants to play a little bit safer now. Platypus, he smells blood. He smells blood.
He doesn't even need Colthrow over the wall. It's the slice, it's the dice, it's the flash, it's the kill. Platypus finds another solo.
Yeah, once again, getting that Renekton into his hands has just provided absolute dividends on their investment. They've given him that early priority in this, and today he's really come out to play. Yes, game number 1, we got to see him on the Scion, but since then it's been non-stop aggressive top laners, really just trying to really prove a point here.
And it's been so great to see him get those leads on his own, too. I mean, sure, he's getting help from Colthrow, but once he's been set up, he is taking that advantage even further. And you've seen, like, Grandview been spending a lot of resources down bot. Riverside very often teleporting there. Colthrow's been hanging around. But Platypus, they gave him an inch early, and then he's taking a mile by himself, which I think is the best feeling as a jungler. You know, you gank a lane once early on, and then they start to create advantages by themselves, and you're like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, and
You're welcome.
it also feels nice for the jungler because you don't have to throw more resources up there. You can just look to try and either focus
on giving.
Yeah, you can keep focusing on farming and making yourself stronger, or you can try and focus your attention to a different lane. Now, Chookies, once again, being able to really match these roams, it's just been so good coming in from this Galio. Platypus, he's back at it
Very
again.
impressive. Look at that heal. There is no gore drinker in that inventory. That is just the The Q, empowered by the Fury. Very strong there. His Platypus is definitely winning out on that 1v1. Just has the slight edge thanks to that Grievous Wounds in inventory. Grandview now, 3 members in the mid wave. They have the Herald. You can tell they'd love to take that tower down. It's still a bit healthy to drop Shelly, though. Or rather, no, this isn't Shelly. This is the second one. What is Shelly's sister's name? There's so much debate around that question right now. What is your opinion, Nightstar?
Yeah, I actually forgot what are my options.
I don't know. I feel like somebody comes up with something new every single time.
Yeah, but you know what? The Poner,
There's the
I think
ultimate
he might be
from
dead.
Mobo's going to lock down the jungler into Poner. Has nowhere to go. Now the Herald will be popped. That will be enough to take down the tower.
boy, Cold
Coldthrow
Throw.
is found.
Woo!
Rod 2 flashes away, but the red smite ticks him down. No Use Stink has to flash. And get out of the jungle. This is Grandview's territory now.
Yeah, they're such in a dominating position, and this is also a game that they started 1,000 gold behind. And all of a sudden, look at them now. They're off to the races. Like, once again, they'll be able to take that tier 2 mid tower.
They're
And
diving tier 2 towers. Chookies flashes over the wall. The gold card from Saponer does catch him.
oh,
But
so
he
long.
gets out with the ultimate to the river. Platypus now will slice over the wall. Grandview somehow get all 5 of their members out alive there.
That was a rough one. But they're trying to recoup the play by throwing in their
Riverside has been a
jungler.
1v2. Does he even care? Make
He's
it,
out
make
of
it
there.
a 3. Give him a third. Hit him with the emote.
Give them the thumbs up. There we
Okay.
go. It's all okay.
That's all the No Use Stink can say. Is okay.
That's all you can say as a jungler, because you're also a tank jungler. Like, what are you gonna do against an Akali? You only have 1 stun, and Akali's got what 1, 2, 3, 4 infinite jumps.
Right,
Sounds about
Nightstar,
right.
what happens when you run and you stun, but the job isn't done?
That's a tough one.
Well, we'll have to be looking for the answer. Purdue, they don't know quite yet. Lobos flashing forward on the Aphelios. This man has no fear, and he has no respect for the boundaries of Purdue Northwest. He is charging into this jungle. No vision, no problem.
No vision, no problem, and now they're gonna turn towards that Baron, Dave. It's not quite the optimal Baron taking weapons on the hands of Azog, but you know what? I don't think they really care. They're still committed to this. In fact, they're going to pull up this teleport over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Grandview are really here for the Baron. They're here for Purdue. And Purdue have obliged. Udon has walked up in Platypus. We'll send him all the way back to base. Cylindric is in a 1v3 in the back line.
Poor man.
But he doesn't have enough healing. The World Ender will get stopped. Platypus, though, that's a different story. He can 1v3 comfortably. And in fact, he is winning it quite handedly, diving the turret still. Pox the Sterix, gives him a big old shield. And Grandview now, they didn't want the Baron. They got their fight, and now they've turned their attention to the inhibitor. 21 minutes, they'll crack it open. I don't think they can end here, but I've been proven wrong on that account today already.
Yeah, it really just depends on the side of Purdue. Do they let them recall, or do they go for more? And they could certainly risk the game
Let
to
them recall,
end.
please. Believe me, you want them to go back to base.
You definitely want them to leave. Just let them go. This gold lead is so massive, but at the same time, you feel like if you don't look for a fight here and they are able to cash in onto that money, you might
All
never
right,
be able
round
to
two,
see the game
Riverside
again.
in a 1v4. Teleport's being channeled. He's trying to sit in the smoke.
There we go.
They've got enough AoE. Now Platypus. He's caught
Shut down.
in a 2v4 without the other member.
Just kidding.
That's like a 1v4 with extra steps. And he's going to get out just fine. He does have to, does lose the teleport thanks to it, but at least he doesn't lose his life.
Yeah, if he lost his life there, that would have been a 1,000 gold shutdown.
Okay.
So this
Nightstar,
8,000.
I'm going to interrupt you very quickly. Riversided, no better than Koskinen. He's in Twitch chat right now, too. Says, just PSA, I DC'd that death, so obviously not his fault. That makes so much more sense.
Understandable. Have a nice day. But now it looks like GBU, they're back onto the Baron. They really want to try and delete this. And this time, they also have much better weaponry to take it, as it is going to be, of course, red-white on to Aphelios. And
No use think powering his way into this pit. But he's going to be turned away. Flashes forward. He doesn't find the 50-50 smite. Purdue just need to leave now. They've already found Solarendric. Toponer looks like he's going to fall too. And this might be all that Grandview needs to close the game out. They have the Baron. They've taken 3 kills. And it's Udan Badan and Love Sona on Gragas, here to defend against 5 members wearing purple capes of Doom.
of Doom.
Everything's scarier when you add of Doom afterwards.
Yeah.
Or Grandview before. The Grandview Baron Cape of Doom.
The
I'm
Grandview Doom.
They will
And-
take the Nexus, and they will end this series just like every other series in a clean sweep. The MEC will start just how the MEC ends, with Grandview University padding their stats in the fountain.
Yeah, indeed it is. And also them, going the little extra mile at the very end. But you know what? At the very least, the Poner, I respect. He's out of there. Throws out that TF ult, but congratulations,
I'll
Grandview.
leave
You've
my
done it
base
again.
and you can't stop me.
Woo!
Grandview, they are the best team in the Midwest Esports Conference. If you didn't believe it before, you weren't watching because they've been doing this for a few seasons now. If you have been watching, then it should be clear. They're here, they're at the top, and nobody will challenge them.
Nobody will challenge them, and you know what? They also made it just in time to play some League of Legends Clash.
True.
Where, yeah, hoping to bring that Doom and
This was
gloom
just a warm-up.
to Clash. Yeah, true. This
The
is
real match is
scrims.
about to begin. They're heading into scouting right now. But that it was the last match that we have of the season. Obviously, we wrapped up our actual C-Law championships last week, where Grandview were able to take the 3-0 sweep against Illinois College. This was just the cherry on the cake, able to clean sweep the skirmish the following weekend. And as we did move both series to today, we'll not be having one tomorrow on account of being Easter. And that means it's over, Night Star. I'm going to cry. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. I want to give a really big shout out, really big thank you to everybody that's been tuning in all season long. We know that there's a lot of amateur esports going on right now. There's Proving Grounds, UPL's taking off. There's tons of leagues out there. And we are so thankful for you tuning in, to watching us, to following these players, following this league. It really does mean a lot. We do this for you guys. And big shout out to the production as well. Upsurge, combining with them this year has been so much fun, has really allowed us to transition to the remote broadcast super easily. Big shout out to all of our producers we've had, especially Andy. It's been helping us tonight. And big shout out to you, Night Star, my special co-caster who has been on this journey with me all season long.
Well, thank you for being on this journey with me. Because it wouldn't have been as fun without you. And hopefully next year, you'll all be able to see us in person. That would be super exciting.
Fingers crossed. Stay happy, stay healthy, everybody. And hey, if you're looking for more of me as Night Star, next week we're going to be starring on the next season of the Upsurge Contenders League. We just wrapped up the finals over there like a week or two ago, but we're already starting back up soon. It's a great time for amateur esports. So if you're interested, make sure to catch us over there. But we're going to be signing off for the rest of the night. Have a good night, everyone.